Oh boy, everybody. Now that I'm pretty sure everybody's here, thank you again for coming to session 8 or 9, session 9 of Spelljammer 998. Here we're going to do a recap real quick and go over what y'all did last week. We're going to finish anything you guys would like to purchase from the Mercane. But, real quick, before I forget, it hurts me to have to say this, but we have some announcements before we get started. First announcement is next week, be prepared. I will be polling you guys about how you're feeling. That'll be session 10. And we'll kind of talk about how y'all are feeling about the amount of freedom you have. If you're sick of sandboxing, if you want more sandbox, and how long we kind of expect the campaign to go. So be prepared for, this is the part where I'm like, are y'all having fun? Are you not having fun? What's not fun? What is fun? Etc. Etc. So y'all be prepared for that next week. Be prepared to hand over a few answers, mostly about how much longer you would like to play. Right now, the length of the campaign is pretty open. Second thing is, if you haven't already, I think most of you have, please, God, kill me, please go smash that subscribe button and hit that bell on the Appalachian Dragons YouTube channel that we've been popping off about in chat. So if y'all haven't done that already, yeah, like and subscribe, he gets it. So if y'all haven't already, please go do that. It'll be lots of fun. We're very excited, and maybe there will be an announcement video for that coming out later in the week. Yeah. And with that, last week on Spelljammer, you guys, if I remember, started about smack in the middle of a combat, at the top of a combat, I guess, as you guys are dropping off a veritable horde of dragon dust as part of a House Tarkanen smuggling run. You guys find yourselves unexpectedly harassed and somewhat double-crossed as these very large Warforged-like creatures, rusty, not colored like the Warforged, they seem to be a silver or a white, or maybe just a plain steel, excuse me, carrying these large hammers, others carrying tower shields, and a mysterious gunslinger-type character that Goob was able to reveal as a Githyanki. And after a little bit of an intense conflict, you guys managed to all gather up, obtain the reward you were being paid, and get out of there without losing anybody. Congratulations. You all went up to level 4. And then afterwards worked your way back out of the tunnels you were in the middle of the Rock of Bral. Marcus admitting along the way that the item he had been given to find the drop-off spot no longer seemed to be working. You guys eventually do manage to make your way out to the edge of the rock, to the cave you entered from, and onto the ship with Jericho, where you guys spent the evening. You circled for a second before going down and landing on the docks, spent the evening on the ship. So, spoiler alert, you guys will get another long rest tonight, because you weren't supposed to get one last night. That's my fault. So you get 2, back to back. And so the next day,
so we do get a rest tonight.
Yes, because I don't want to redo like the calendar stuff because I've got them spaced out every 3 days. So you technically shouldn't have got one last night, but so you'll get one tonight too because that's when you were supposed to have it. Because I'm the one that fucked up. And so
tonight, but not one right now.
Yes, correct. It is still technically the 7th of Larvon. Everything I just covered happened on the 6th. The next day, on the 7th, the current day, you guys get up and have a brief amount of conversation with some of the House Tarkanen crew. I think this is when Goob talked about knowing that the creepy dude you met was a Githyanki. And then you guys went out and had a short tour of the Rock of Bral. Marcus pointed out a rather long list of things that he was at least aware of, even if he had never been in them, in the buildings themselves before. We can go over that after recap if y'all would like. But y'all went and did a couple of things. You went and spoke to Max, who was not the foreman of the shipyard, of the docks, but close enough that you could speak with him whenever you docked there. Marcus offered you all an abandoned and beat up damselfly Spelljammer, which you guys accepted in lieu of any other payment. And Max agreed to begin to build a prosthetic limb for your friend Zephyr, as you guys spent a little bit of time running around the rock attempting to locate the best way to restore Zephyr's foot. You guys found out that the Dribblers Club, some friends of Goob, would be capable of obtaining you guys a discounted price of 4,500 gold pieces to have the foot magically restored. And then after that is when you went to Max and commissioned him to create something else, prosthetic. Warforged like prosthetic. He gave you the price of 400 gold to both create it and do the operation, with the caveat that Goob handles all of the medical aspects of the operation. You guys also, the meeting with the Dribblers Club, if y'all would like to remember, is in the Happy Beholder. You briefly glimpsed the proprietor, Large Luigi. And I think that's almost it, because after that, you guys eventually made your way to a storefront that seemed to have been just a small regular shop. But upon recognizing Goob, you guys are led to the back, which was magically expanded, much larger than the outside of the building would have you believe, and met your first Mercane, a 12-foot tall, blue, skinny-ass giant-looking creature. That's how I like to think of them. They're a little weird looking. But well stocked with magical goods. Some of you have already told me throughout the week what you wanted to buy, and I've already marked that off of your sheets or added it to your sheets. Buggo boys, your weapons should be on your sheets.
They are. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. For those of you that are wondering, they purchased a mithril katana and a mithril githka, both of which sound awesome. Other than that, any questions, comments, snide remarks, anything I forgot? Anything you want to remind yourselves about?
I just grabbed some potions, like 10.
10, heard. That's 450 go.
Did any of you happen to snag that cool ass fucking hammer that knocked me on my ass like 2 or 3 times last week? I was worried about that.
Yeah, I feel like I dragged that out along with my corpse.
Just sticking out of your back.
Like somebody just picked me up quick, shoved the hammer in before we leave.
I grabbed Randy. Maybe Randy was holding onto the hammer for dear life.
Y'all didn't say anything. Y'all didn't grab the hammer.
Yeah.
Sorry, friends.
No.
If you can ask the Mercane about the hammer if you'd like. Okay.
Fuck that! I don't want to buy one. There's one lying on the floor in a cavern somewhere. I got.
It's true.
The sniper's probably left by now, right? We can go back.
Say it again.
Sniper's probably left by now, right? We can just go back.
If you can find your way back. Okay.
Deimos
I did mark down.
I
hold on 2 seconds before I lose my brain. I did mark down your gold Goob, so I will add. You said 10 potions. I want to make sure I heard that right.
Yeah, 10.
Q.
I've got 735.
Yes, that's
currently.
very yes. Okay. My I don't think mine are going to be exactly like y'all's because my starting values were different, but that was within like 15 of what I had written down. So
Okay, cool.
I wanted to add that to y'all's.
Deimos will slap his hand on this 6-foot table that he so generously had Marcus help him bring down. Because can I interest you, gentlemen, in a fine table acquired through 100% legitimate means?
They give you a little bit of a funny look.
You could use it as a footrest. You're very tall. I understand.
It is rare that we deal in mundane items. Is it? What does it do?
Wait, it holds
That's a
things
plus
like
5.
your feet or a drink.
Pleasure.
Well, I look over, I'm like, what does it do? You guys are hecka tall, but I bet there's still things you can't reach. That's the finest step stool I've ever seen for a person like you.
You know, that's... Yeah, you could add 50% of your height. You said you were 12 foot tall. This would make you 18. Just think about all the tall things that you can't access.
So you guys watch the
You ever
series.
just wanted to reach into a second-story window? Well, now you can.
I like to picture this is happening while y'all are browsing, and so you watch as it begins to pull some of the things in sheaths. The nicer things you were presented were up high, up on a shelf, and you watch things start to float down off of the shelf as he's presenting these things to you guys, and he says.
Well, you know, in commerce, you can never have too much display. You know,
it looks a mixture
of
of confused and amused. And it's how much are you looking to get for it?
I believe it's been appraised at 30 gold. It says in my.
I think you're right.
Roadshow?
That's not accurate. There's no way.
20 gold.
It says 150 pounds, 30 gold, 6-foot table.
Yeah, it offers you 20 gold for it.
One moment, please. I go to the front of the Happy Beholder Tavern and I ask the bartender, hey, adventurers are always sort of breaking tables, aren't they? Isn't that such a pain in the ass? Would you be interested in having a backup table for just such an occasion? Because I'll tell you something, and I kind of like shiftily look over to, oh fuck, none of us are really big. I look over to Google.
You're the only one there.
He
Everyone else is at the Mercane place.
Isn't that in the Happy Beholder Tavern?
No. You guys are at a separate storefront. Like
I see.
a whole, not district park or whatever, but you'd have to walk all the way back there from where you're at.
Damn. Wasn't there a front for this business or something?
It is. It's like a smaller shop near the docks, like towards the front. So it looks like a kind of ragtag shop when you walk in, and then when you guys were allowed in the back's when it went. Walmart.
So there is a
here.
shopkeep up front. I will ask him. Are you looking for a new table?
You should talk to my bosses. He tells you. Head, like, jerked back towards the back.
This seems like below their pay grade. Surely, 30 gold seems like a fair price.
Listen, they offered us 50. You could get it for 30 right here, right now, if you just want to go ahead and handle the transaction without us having to go back and forth.
I mean, you can make a deception check if you want, but it's gonna be real hard.
So he can make. Can I make a persuasion check since I didn't lie?
I don't know. Why are you all of you buried under windows?
If you want me to, I can.
I mean, he does not seem impressed. He says, "I'm just going to go ask them what they want for it." You get the impression that he is not a true shopkeep. This is
I gotcha.
a front for the Mercane. But the Mercane does explain that he does have to be able to sell it back at a market price.
He's got to make money on
something
it.
to sell. This is a vehicle for further transactions. But 25 gold seems acceptable. Thank you.
He looks at what you guys have bought: 10 potions, 2 mithril weapons. Sees your friends browsing and gives you the 25 gold for the table.
I need the cab fare. Thank you.
I need some arrows.
Which ones you want, friend?
I'm gonna do 1 rope arrow, 2 glass tipped, and 4 flares. That's gonna be 300 gold.
What was the second one?
2 glass tipped.
Oh, I almost forgot the arrows that I made. I think actually I stole the glass tipped ones from the internet. Minus 300 gold for you, which I will mark down in the chat so I can do it later when I'm bookkeeping. Would anyone else like to peruse, purchase, or I guess you guys are going to ask it about firearms? Is there anything else you guys would like?
I have a quick question, mostly for you. I think we had lightly talked about this before. I didn't get to ask when we first started session, but did we already get paid? So we didn't agree upon the wage that Marcus originally gave us, right? Like, have we already gotten paid for that, or are we still planning to negotiate that for more before receiving the funds? I don't know if we've already gotten them or not, so I can't remember.
You were paid for helping him. It was 250 gold pieces each. I'm not sure payment was ever discussed with Thora. Like, I don't know that you guys ever got her to quote you a price. That was going to be the quoted price, spoiler alert. But
I think we talked about adding hazard pay, and he said he was going to try to make that happen.
Well, that was the whole point of the ship. If you took the ship, that was your hazard pay. You got to sink money into it to make it fly, but
okay, I see it. 250 gold each. I see it added. I just don't remember that actually happening. That's why I was curious.
Oop.
Also, Devin, you're dropping those in the
I see that.
The game notes chat, not the party inventory. Just want to let you know before you made too many.
Yeah, I'm gonna put them back now before I forget about them. Neat. I'm not gonna put. I haven't put goobs in there because I did goobs on my spreadsheet. So 10. The potions need to go back though. I'll fix that. Okay. Anything else? Do you guys are interested in? Okay, they're in there. Cool.
do have a question about about the components to use the firearm. Like you've got your shot and your like the wadding and then like the gunpowder, right? Or are we only going to track like you have enough components to fire the gun this many times?
Yeah, so probably the only thing we would need to track instead of tracking all three of those things, we'll just track one. Like we can track bullets. I kind of would rather track like how would I put it? Like how many shots you have in your gunpowder satchel, for lack of a better term, because gunpowder is kind of going to be it's important
Expensive
to
bit.
it's going to be the most important plot element as far as all that stuff goes. So like I think it would be cool if like it was measured by you have X amount of shots in your powder bag or powder satchel or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
But
And how much would one pistol cost?
so you inquire to the Mercane about, give him a description of the weapons you saw. It doesn't give you a funny look, but you get a somewhat long band of silence from this Mercane. Those are difficult to get this far in. It could be some time before it was, and it's weird because it's talking like I am. It'll say something, pause for a minute or two, say something else. And you can kind of see its eyes moving around during its pauses. It says, prices right now in this sector are steep. I can currently obtain you one for 1,200 gold your price.
Okay, well, that's a little bit too rich for my blood right now.
He kind of nods and not, I wouldn't say looks confused, but it has taken notice of what you guys have bought so far, and it says, would you like? I may obtain one without charging you if you would like me to begin that process.
Yeah, that'd be great. And just so I know, could you send that somewhere else?
Yes, it could arrive at various locations
Okay.
for a nominal fee. It could be teleported.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Yeah, if you could work on getting me one of those and just get word to me when you got it.
And that's for nothing in return, just because we bought stuff.
You promise to be good customers and to return frequently. If you really have a project on the rock, we will see each other.
Well, we've got a ship that's being repaired here, but also, like, you know me, like I've been around, like I'm Goob, you know.
This is
You know, like, kinda,
sorry. And you guys kind of get the impression that not everyone knows about what's going on back here. They do seem very hesitant to really not necessarily to do business with you guys, but you guys are very much under the impression if you had not come in with Goob, you would not have been allowed in the back. They are very careful with who they do business with, and very business oriented, it would seem. He says,
Do we hear this?
I mean, assuming Goob doesn't try to hide it from you, which I doubt.
no, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hide anything.
Goob will, or Deimos will mention, we do have a sizable pot, over 5,000 gold, I believe, in the party bank. Not sure if you want to dip into that.
No, it's
Not
not worth
expensive.
it. I think we can, you know, it's more advantageous for me to pay for this on my own.
Don't we need that for the ship, the helm?
Oh, that's
It's
right.
about half of what we need, which is a good start. Just wanted to, if it was something that we really wanted to dig into now, we could always, pull from and have you pay back later.
No, it's
work
just
out
on layaway.
Yeah, I was supposed to
My other
the Mercane definitely seems to agree with Goob that if he can obtain it for no charge, it is better to save and come back and purchase it when it arrives.
my other thought is like he made specific mention of that being the price here, and he also made specific mention of they're hard to get this far in. So I wonder if the closer you get to sort of what wild space, outer space areas somewhere, I don't know, undisclosed location, they might be cheaper and easier to obtain. I'm not sure. That's just what I'm inferring.
Does Randy say that out loud?
Yes, Randy says that out loud.
The Mercane will tell you, says, we can offer you a much more closer to market value price on Vaunt. Or it gives you, it pretty much lists the three, like, furthest out. Because Vaunt is the furthest out. I just can't remember the next two. Because there's like 10 or 12 of those fuckers or whatever.
I try to, I kind of lean in close. I'm like, listen, like, y'all, we've done business before. And I'm going to try to persuade him, Devin. Look, if I give you 200 gold right now, like, I know you're doing me a solid, and you don't, I don't really have a whole lot of skin in this particular game right now, but if I give you 200 now, do you think you can knock off 150 gold off the last price, the total?
Go ahead and make your persuasion check.
Can I do it at advantage since I am a merchant, technically?
Sure. He's also weighing the possibility of you guys coming back. The best thing about down payments from adventurers is sometimes they never come back to collect.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
While he's rolling, it's a quick question. Didn't we haggle them down to a cheaper price per teleportation
Yes,
already?
it is 7 gold.
Holy shit,
Each.
how?
Oh no!
Yeah.
How the fuck?
That's unfortunate.
Well, if this is how tonight's going to be, it's going to be an interesting night. Let us see if you fulfill your, what was it, 3 trips a month quota? For a month or two, and we will consider special pricing.
Okay, alright. Well, that's better than nothing.
You guys want to go ahead and spend the 21 gold right now to zip zap zoop?
Oh, actually, all right. So I assumed during the smuggling run you left A1 on the ship. Very dangerous. But you guys have been back to the ship since then. Did you take A1 with you out into the Rock of Bral?
I thought about this question being asked before you asked it, and I want to say no.
I feel like the ship is safer overall, but at the same time, we don't have eyes on him, and that's inherently dangerous in of itself. I can learn next time we have a bit of time to sit down. I can learn a spell to put a lock on a magical lock on a door to make it much more difficult to get in which case I would feel better about leaving him behind. But we say he's tagging along with us for now in his little fake gnome garb.
My thought was, did Marcus gave us a tour, but did he not go back to the ship? Like, isn't he
He
just
is
chilling
technically
there now?
with you guys now at the moment, assuming he went
Okay.
shopping with you guys. That was going to be here in a minute. He was going to be like, "I have to take off. You might want to get your little quiet friend," or something to that effect, depending on how y'all answered. Because I just kind of
Have him
assumed
with us.
he didn't go with you guys when you were dropping off. Because that just sounds like a bad idea.
No,
I would assume that there's eyes everywhere, so I'd probably say leave them on the ship.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
what I
that's
would have
one for
voted if
each.
we would have asked at the time.
Ben Barb Goob.
I'd still say, like, since we are able to have him disguised, I'd rather take him with us so we can keep a direct eye on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Then if Vera
you
tries
go.
to contact us through him, and we can
We
get
got
him.
it.
So y'all are walking around with him, which is perfect.
Because I feel like
Uh,
she would check in on us to make sure we are actually protecting him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because she can
Let me
scry
speak to
through
my
him,
son.
right?
She can't scry him, yes.
Okay.
Man, now you got me thinking. I want to ask him a question. I'll do it telepathically though. Hey, little bud. I got a quick question for you.
Hey,
What-
baby.
What do you know about like building machinery? You know, you kind of look like machinery. I just want to know what you know about building machinery.
Know how to make bugs? No.
Like
That's
machines.
not
Oh,
business.
he cannot respond mentally, I don't think, right? That's not how your thing works.
You
If
can
he-
respond to a message.
But
he
his
doesn't
is...
have message. He's
yeah.
using, yeah.
He's speaking to
That's
him. He's putting
true.
thoughts in his head.
If
Yeah,
Randy
we just put our voice
reaches
in their
out
head.
to me, I can sort of bridge that. But
I feel like we played this in the past though, where I don't know. Have we played it in such a way that if I reach out that way, it has to be verbal to come back?
Steak sauce.
You make the call.
Steak sauce has been what is that called in your thing? Steak sauce has been responding to mental talk verbally because he does not have a way to do that. I'm trying to find where it says in your character sheet how your
So the only reason I thought that way is
Okay.
because at the end of it, it says the telepathic link is broken if the distance between you is more than 120 feet. And so I don't know if that means it's a one-way conversation or if it's more like a
Yeah, it doesn't specify.
bi-directional link.
interesting.
I don't know.
Okay. I actually kind of agree with that because the telepathic link, interesting. But that's for you to send thoughts to him. It does not specify
Yeah, it says
either way.
magically transmitting your thoughts mentally to a willing creature.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
And I feel
So
like that's kind of broken if we can talk in quiet
Quiet.
all the time.
yeah. No, yeah. So
Well, I
you're
like to imagine it's just like while we're clicking, it's just like a dub over us.
yeah, that's kind of how I see it too,
Or
because it mentions you don't even have to speak the same language. Each of you just have to be able to speak a language. So I also think
we
of
can
it
just-
in
we
a
can-
lot of like emotions.
We can just
and-
transmit our language into one they can understand. Yeah.
regardless,
All this tangent just to say, I guess I can pass it through Deimos if it makes more sense.
well, I thought about it. I have to speak message out loud. I can whisper it, but it's still, there's still a verbal component to it.
You know what? Whatever. What are these Mercan gonna do? They gonna fight me?
I mean,
Ask him if he
Please
knows how to
don't
build
fight me.
shit.
Please don't fight me.
They-
Giant people.
I will say that you guys probably would notice that it has given a couple of looks to A1. He does look like a regular gnome, but it's glanced his way more than once.
Gnomes know how to
To
build
distract
stuff.
from that.
It's a simple question.
All right.
No, he doesn't
Yeah,
look.
just tell him to answer yes or no. That's all he has to say.
Just nod.
Does he know how to build?
No.
All right, yeah, I'll pose it as a yes. Okay, fair enough.
No, I know very little.
We know me. That's okay. It's you just.
Fun little.
I don't want to say too much out. I don't want him to say anything too much out here.
Fun little factoid. When he speaks, it is not in his little robotic-y voice. So, for those of you that may not remember, we've said that it's safe to assume, I'm not going to make you remember every time, that Echo has been casting Minor Illusion to make him look normal, along with the the outfit that Goob has put on him. And this time when he speaks, he sounds like a gnome. And I take that back. He sounds like Jericho on the ship.
I'm just mimicking his voice.
Something like that.
Okay.
Deimos will ask Echo. He'll actually he'll like, are you doing that? And just like try to very subversely like shoot it over to him.
I mean, Demos,
Echo?
you're
Echo.
I would say that I am, but there is a check involved. I'm trying to remember the pass.
well. Here's the thing. That spell can only do one of those things at a time. You could not change his voice and make him look different.
That's why I'm surprised. by
I'm
it.
gonna crouch down and just take a real quick little peek at him. Make sure he looks the way he's supposed to look.
So I would like to even imagine you might even reach. Well, he does look like the gnome that Echo has been making him look like. I'd like to think you might even reach and touch his hand or try to touch his face, and you reach through the illusion and touch metal. He stands up to inspection. And he seeing all of you kind of looking, no one telling him to shush, he says, I learned a trick. I've been practicing. He goes like this. He waves his little fingers.
I pat him on his little gnome head, and I'm like, "Good job, little buddy. That's awesome."
That is incredibly impressive. I'm quite pleased with that. But let's talk about this more once we get back to our rooms.
To be clear, I only asked that question because I thought I could try to retroactively see if he could help What's-His-Face on the ship build a prosthetic and get us a cheaper price.
I see.
But No dice.
Interesting. Okay. If
Before
you guys,
we leave the merchants,
go ahead.
Deimos will try to take that that scabbard that we got that's worth 250 and ask the crew. I assume we're willing to liquidate. That seem agreeable? Y'all want to sell this scabbard that we don't have a blade
yeah.
for?
I was about to say,
All the
technically
same to me.
Demos did not find the scabbard. Drix found the scabbard. But if
No,
Drix
I'm not
is willing
saying
to...
for me. I'm saying party. Do we want to liquidate?
Oh,
this?
you're asking everybody. I thought you were asking the
I'm
merchant.
fine with that.
Yeah.
You said crew,
Yeah,
and
I'm
I
not
was like...
doing it, so.
No. I'm sorry. Our
I thought you meant Tarkin and crew. I was like... No,
Don't seem useful to me.
I will add that to the Kajigger. Plus 250 gold, is that right?
Yes, please.
And then as y'all run
actually, Goob, as you well know, this is a very rare item. The creature that this is made from does not exist out here in cyberspace, cyberspace, however you pronounce it. It's actually a creature known for its exceptional skill and swiftness. I would say this would fetch a fine price on Eberron, but Goob, if you insist on having your friends take a look at it.
I look at him and
elbow him in the goop.
Yeah, like I look at him like, huh? Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it is like I've never seen anything that is quite this spectacular. Nothing of this quality, this side of the galaxy. I don't know what else to add.
Kevin doesn't know how to. Yeah.
I would think at this point it shakes its head, starting to look a little more frustrated than amused at this point. It says, I've mentioned before we do not usually deal in mundane items.
It's not mundane. Look, it's rubber, and I grab it and I try to like wiggle it really fast.
It gives a little bit of a cough, and it says, we are able to discern magic from unmagic. Quite skillfully, it glances at steak sauce.
Shoot, time to go.
Well, they know it's not like we're gonna be like.
I do question. This is surely not the only merchant in this entire town, right? Like we could probably peddle this stuff.
Yeah,
somewhere
no,
else
there
if
would
we
be
want
like a
to.
regular magical item shop. These are just the intergalactic.
I was hoping to get a. I was hoping since they were a Goob contact that we could, get a little extra for it. But if they're not interested, we'll try to sell it for.
These are like the worst dudes to try to get a little extra out of.
Okay.
Fellas, we're trying to sell a level 1 alien.
We'll try to sell it.
We-
On the way back to the ship, I would like to try to sell it somewhere.
That's fine. I was about to say, for stuff that y'all, treasure items you guys find on ships, it is perfectly okay for you guys to be like, we liquidate this, and we don't have to go through the process of y'all looking for people to fence to. We assume it happens and gets done.
Can we try to roll to get a better price on it? The whole thing of me being like, lynxes are known for their swiftness, and any shop you can go into and try to haggle, like.
So, well, that's the thing. If you guys want to haggle, we can't just hand wave it. Like, I'm not just gonna hand wave you get an extra price. If you want to RP haggling it,
let us make a roll for it. Persuasion check, deception check. We make anything to try to convince a regular merchant that it's worth a little more than it is.
you can try if you want.
Sleight of hand, maybe pickpocket somebody.
Pay and then immediately
Embezzlement and
I'll make up your extra gold along the way. I'll just pickpocket everybody between here and the next shop. It's fine.
Well, now we're playing Assassin's Creed. Okay. As you guys are leaving, the Mercane does ask before you leave the back of the shop. He will pull Goob aside, and he will very discreetly point at steak sauce. He'll say, "Is it for sale?"
Goob thinks about it and he's like, how much?
25,000 gold.
25K.
Jesus.
Goob tries to not look excited.
Goob, we're on a contract, buddy.
I mean, I'm just role playing here. This is Goob. It's not me.
I'm about it.
Hey, now remember, the only person that gets punished if they break the contract is the person that broke the contract. I specified.
And what
Oh,
did
yeah.
they ever like say what happened
Good job,
if you
Randy.
did break the contract?
There will be some psychic backlash, and some sort of condition inflicted, and they will be able to track you for up to a week.
You
That's
get
not
yeeted
good.
into the sun. Good luck.
Yeah, Goob he's really thinking on this hard. He's like, I tell you what, I'll get back to you, okay?
It nods respectfully. An unusual specimen, unlike anything we have seen.
It's like, listen, this is gonna take a lot of convincing to do. Not only that, I am potentially under physical harm and death. 25K is not gonna cut it.
It kind of its eyes seem to move around, and you can see it looking at the tattoos, some of the visible tattoos on some of your party members, and it nods. It says, "That is
I move mine to
understand-"
my forehead.
Yeah, I was about to say, and when you show yours, it says that is entirely understandable. Should you reach a impasse or find a loophole, I would be interested in communicating more.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll hit you up.
I don't want to metagame this because we're not supposed to be there, but could you ask him if he inferred anything at all about how it works? The fact that he could see through the disguise and seem immediately interested makes me curious.
I mean, that would be really metagamey. And Goob's really not interested in that. He's just interested in selling it.
I will say that they told you
Money
they could
boy.
discern magic from unmagic, Randy, which implies that they have some sort of ability to see magical items, or at least to see if an item is magical or not. You can imagine a thing made of magic looks like a fucking beacon.
Yeah.
Does it have to be
Fair enough.
specifically a magical item?
Well, I
No,
think what we're
they
learning
can
here is
see
that
magic.
he runs on magic is what we're learning here.
Drix might have him look at Cordo then.
If you ask about Cordo, what do you ask about Cordo?
I'll tell him that ever since I contracted this fungus on that asteroid, I've noticed, especially after this last skirmish we've had, I've been having these terrible visions in my meditative rest states. They're starting to weaken me over time, and I'm just trying to see if there's another cause. It might not just be a fungus.
It will tell you that yes, it does appear to be magical. He doesn't know that. Does it attempt to communicate with you or speak with you, or do you think it provide? What leads you to believe it provides these visions?
Oh, he has a whole personality.
It is sentient.
Oh, he's very sentient. And when he says that, Cordo kind of like jumps in a little bit and kind of overlaps him, and he's like, "Yeah, well, the Mantis boy, he's not that far off. I'm not exactly aware of what I'm doing to Drix, but we share memories now. Memories that I no longer kind of have. So I can't really explain to him what I'm doing."
Well, perhaps for a fee, you could be magically examined, but just at a glance at the way I see you are magical in nature, potentially powerfully so. It kind of tilts his head. Do not seem to be an entirely mature specimen. This is mostly beyond our wheelhouse.
Well, that's interesting. And then Cordo kind of like comes back and Drix kind of shakes back in. He's like, "God, I hate that fucking fungus.
Okay.
Kill it if I could."
Oh,
And Cordo
well.
kind of pops back in, and he's just like, "Well, I'm kind of connected to your nervous system, buddy."
The Mercane is like over here shaking its head like it's escorted you guys out and it's walking off. You can see it looking at this point very perplexed, starting to wonder if this whole visit was a fever dream. And as you guys are leaving, Marcus actually points out. He says, he's looking at all the stuff you all bought, and he says, that's a little bit intense. You would have made any other shopkeep on all of Eberron's fucking month with that haul, and he barely batted an eyelash. You can tell he had looked at some stuff, and you could probably the whole time he was there looking at stuff, looking at the price tag, throwing it down in disgust, etc., etc.
Me in downtown Blue Ridge.
Yeah, same.
It was not that nice.
No, that was Marcus the whole time. He tells you guys as you're leaving, he says, obviously you are welcome to, obviously if you all have the coin, you don't need my help to get back. But, we'll likely be leaving tomorrow. If you would like a place to stay tonight that doesn't cost anything. I would say, because y'all got up, it is probably a little past midday, 2, maybe 3 in the afternoon. Earth time, Eberron time. And with that, he says, I do have to go and make sure we are prepared to leave in the morning.
The humanoids probably need sleep, yeah.
Wait, you said it's 1 a.m.
No, 2 or 3 in the morning.
Oh,
Excuse
okay.
me, 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I don't know why my brain's fucking spitting out weird shit. Because y'all got up and have been essentially exploring the town the whole day. So it's not like that takes an excessive amount of time. So the rock, for lack of a better term, is yours as Marcus makes his way back to the Crimson to begin preparing for tomorrow's voyage back home.
I have a quick question. So, let me look at the map really quick. Sorry, the Temple of the Silver Flame. It's that you said that's the most popular sort of religion in
Eberron.
Eberron?
Yes.
Okay, so like the temple being here would not be unique to this location. Like there would probably be a temple for these guys on most points of interest.
Yes. And you guys know for sure there is one in Eberron.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I was asking because I didn't know if there might be like more information
My brain's not working.
we could glean from this one versus there as far as the sort of clue we had, but I'm not going to follow that too much.
Okay. So, well, the rest of the day is yours. You guys can explore the rock, return to Eberron, do jobs to fix your ship. It's really, really up to you guys.
Yeah,
I do
wouldn't
want
mind
to try to
swinging
sell
by.
that.
Sorry, go on.
Very good. I do want to sell that scabbard if we can.
Okay. Make your one of you can make a persuasion roll if you'd like, if you're trying to get a better price for it.
Let me do
My
it.
persuasion is not the best.
Let me do
I'll
it.
back him up if that's an option.
I mean, can we assume that I could probably get advantage on a lot of like mercantile rolls?
It just kind of depends.
Okay.
Usually I base that kind of thing on how well you argued about it. Like how well you argued with the shopkeep.
Okay.
Well, the fur of this is made from
Yes,
a very
you
rare
did the
creature,
spiel
very
earlier.
Swift, very adept. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was our spiel. So
That's what I'm saying.
get some
You've given the
advantage.
spiel.
Yeah, we've
fair enough,
honed it
yes.
a little bit.
Yes,
We're
yes,
a little
yes.
more like
Yes, you can have
in
advantage
line.
this time.
Okay.
Because of Joey's spiel earlier, yes. I'm sorry. Yeah, my brain don't want to work today.
Okay.
Not enough beer.
You said persuasion?
Yes, sir. I
Is
guess
there a way to roll with advantage?
there should be a toggle. Or, yeah. Is that how
I'm just gonna
your
check
sheet's
those two
different?
rolls.
It's usually quicker to pop it twice.
Oh,
The D&D Beyond.
Oh, the roll
plugin,
20.
Ooh, that one's a little better.
Yeah, perfect.
I will say, just based on the vibe y'all have been giving me lately, you guys essentially swindle a lower, not a lower class merchant, but it's somewhere in the first section. There's a lower, a middle, and an upper.
A tier.
Somewhere in the lower tier, you guys managed to swindle a up and coming shopkeep into believing that this is historically significant, and you guys get an extra 100 gold for it.
Oh, nice.
How much?
Extra 100 gold for it.
Does
Oh,
that
so
feel bad though?
350. Can Deimos take the 350 and turn to turn to Zephyr. Well, being as you've got to get your upgrade, maybe this can help you foot the bill.
Okay.
Randy,
I know
who
what-
loves
what-
who loves dad jokes, audibly groans. Ugh.
Lex hates them, but Cordo loves them.
that's
Got a
fine.
split brain
Wait.
there.
I won't typically make executive decisions for group funds, but I feel like this is something that will slow us all down if we don't get it taken care of now.
Leaves
Also,
y'all
like,
on the wrong foot.
Like she looks kind of sadder without a foot, and honestly, I think that, or excuse me, I actually think that means he's happier. I'm kind of confused. I'm getting weird vibes from you.
Zephyr does make me think of Elfo. Somewhere I wish I could go just once where some people are miserable. Anyway, okay. Very well. You guys sell off some of your loot. How would you like to proceed?
I want to swing by
just follow
Adventures
you over.
Unlimited and see what they got.
Adventures Unlimited.
That's a little local tourist place in your area joke. The Xeno Termination Ltd.
Okay.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
Okay. So I think I would describe this place as it wasn't lavish. It was a little rough trodden, but it is somewhere in the middle section. It is a little nicer than some of the other inns that you've seen. And I would like to think of it as tucked away in a sense. It is almost in a corner. It is a larger-ish building. And you guys go in to, it is unguarded in the front. There's not a terrible amount of windows. You guys go into a somewhat dingy room. Excuse me, large room. You walk in and at first you think it's an inn. But that's not quite right. There is a bar. There are kegs. There do seem to be bottles of liquor on the bar. And there are a smattering of tables, so not quite as many as you would expect in a full-time inn. But then where most of the light emanates from, you see off in the corner of a room I guess not large. So this clay field, and a painted chalk ring around the field, and you guys can see many rough and tumble looking folk gathered around and kind of off from this ring. Many of them are, at this place, you guys walk in, you guys watch people begin to stand on their chairs at their tables to look over the crowd that has gathered around the ring. And as you're walking in and getting your bearings, you guys hear this loud, resonating clapping sound as you guys all snap your heads to see these two, now even for them, massive turtles smash into each other. Like chest to chest. What's the matter?
Sumo.
Like
Kevin?
sumo! It is like sumo, yes! Welcome to whatever. Oh, this was the wrestling thing that y'all were joking about forever ago. What did y'all call it? I don't remember what y'all called it, but I didn't have a name for it because they don't have a name for it. But essentially, you guys watch these two. For those that don't know, the very basic rules of sumo is that if any part of your body besides the bottom of your feet touches the ground, you're out. You're done. You get pushed out of the circle, you're done. So these two turtles go at it for a solid 45 seconds before you watch one sweep the other's foot and knock him on his ass, before immediately hollering, turning, and pointing. And you all watch the whole room kind of go quiet for a second as, oh no, I need some art. As the Victor points out an even larger figure kind of standing off in the corner, a GIF, G-I-F-F, they're the hippo people in Spelljammer, a very large GIF wearing a white gi and a big thick rope belt around his stomach, around his waist, and you guys watch him begin to take off a small smattering of first his adventurer's backpack, a little bit of jewelry, and you guys watch him lay a massive katana down next to his bag. And odachi, for those of you that are familiar, they're two-handed katanas.
Oh yeah.
That's what the freaking Oni used in
Yes,
in
they're
Storm King's.
two-handed versions of
scary.
katanas. They're scary. Which, of course, to a big old, this guy's probably close to 8 feet tall, to a GIF, they don't look quite so big. You watch him lay his stuff down, strip his gi top off, and make his way to the ring.
Is there a place to bet?
You don't want to bet on the turtles, do you?
And
I
was
would
gonna-
There's not a.
I would say this is not like a window like at a horse racing track, but you can hear people taking bets amongst their friends, taking bets amongst themselves. You could easily chime into one person who's taking bets and place a bet with them if you would like. It's not formal, but there are people taking bets and things of that nature.
Just
I have a
even
quick
odds.
question. So I was listening back. Did Cade give me his cowboy hat? Yes or no?
I don't think so. Give you the cowboy hat? I don't think so.
Remember at the so I mean I don't know, at the end of the first session you talked about how Cade might not be coming back, and I was like, wait, Cade, don't go. Give me your cowboy hat. I don't know what we landed on.
I mean, you could definitely get his cowboy hat if you want it. But
Okay,
I don't think you have it right now. I'm sorry, that really
Do
tickled
something
me for a
flavor wise,
second.
whatever. Man, yeah. I'll walk over and be like, oh yeah, it's good. I'm definitely placing a bet on the GIF.
Okay.
I think as well. 15 gold on the gift.
Here's a.
Uh,
Oh, did it not send the way it's supposed to send? That's dumb. I just want you all to see this picture of this GIF.
that's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Ben posted. It's hilarious. 1 second, and I will narrate for you guys what happens as these two.
That's a bad Kuzembo mod. That's what
It
that
is. That's what I thought too. You guys, dink. As promised, things are now in comic book style. I tried to get it to. I tried to get it to do a sword. The AI generator just could not pull a sword for some reason. Strapped to his back.
Deimos, I'm like, that fella has such good taste. You know, it's something about his outfit, his style. It is. Randy loves it.
All of this started with the creative seed
with the simplicity
of Sumo Hippo. That's how all this started for me. You guys watch. So remember your bets because I didn't hear them because I was looking for stuff. You guys.
I also put 15 on the gift.
I was about to say I thought I heard 2 15s on the gift. You guys watch as they
15.
square up. 15 herb. They do a little. There's a very short, much shorter than real sumo. Not ritual, but they size each other up for a second before you watch them both slam their fist on the ground and charge. You guys are treated to a phenomenal match of what they would probably just call grappling. Catch me outside. I've got to turn this away or y'all are going to make me giggle. A phenomenal display of grappling. The match lasts upwards to 2 minutes. You guys actually, I imagine from the crowd gathered, this is a little bit of a long match and a very good one. There are several moments where it looks like the turtle's about to run the GIF up out of the off the ring, out of the circle, before the GIF surprisingly agile manages to circle or scoot out of the way. There are a couple of times where you think the GIF seemingly heavier and stronger than the turtle is just going to snap him down, stomach first to the dirt, and eventually you guys watch as they get locked up chest to chest, and the GIF manages to reach down and hook its hand under the shell, like near the turtle's hips, and literally lifts it off the ground before just plop, like he falls on him, like doesn't turn him all the way upside down, like just gets him up and plop.
I want to shout, put him on his back, put him on his back.
No, he doesn't. The whole
racist.
place just erupts as the GIF slams the turtle down, gets back up huffing and sweating, and immediately begins. I think you all get 15. You three get 15 gold. Oh boy.
Okay.
Sorry, that made me giggle.
I'm back in double digits, baby.
Yeah, Demos is fiending for the coin.
No, I'm incredibly broke. I need to get back home.
And he does immediately kind of not stomp, but make his way quickly back to where he had been sitting, and begins to kind of collect his stuff and get it all in a put his gi top back on and things of that nature. And then at this point, the crowd does disperse a little bit.
Message to the turtle that lost.
Oh God. Okay.
Or just want to little bitch, and then just turn away. Could have been anybody in the crowd.
he immediately begins trying to pick fights. He is not allowed back in the ring. You guys watch as more contestants come forward. You guys can see is not just Gif and Turtles. You do see Goliaths compete. You see humans and dwarfs compete, although not against the Goliaths or the Gifs or anything of that nature. But you guys gather. This seems to be something that happens throughout the day while the I'm going to call it a club. It's not exactly an inn. While the club is occupied. All right. Well, would you? It's the only other thing really of note in the room is a very large board. Most of you, I'm just going to call it a job board because that's what it is. A very large bulletin board with a bunch of postings on it, a bunch of pieces of papers and things of that nature. Other than that, you are free to do as you wish. There is a bartender. You gather there is no kitchen. You can't see a room that would lead back to a kitchen.
You boys want to check out the work board?
I absolutely do, but before I do that, I want to sit down at the bar, look at the bartender. Fella, you got any whiskey, something along those lines?
Plenty of whiskey. You hanker anything specific?
I don't want bottom shelf, something kind of mid-tier, doesn't have to be too fancy. And give me 2 of them, and then I'm going to point at the GIF, and I'm going to sort of signal, like, come over here, big guy.
Oh, man.
Okay, is there like a board that has like who's gonna fight next or who's gonna wrestle next?
You do not see that actually.
Who were you going in?
I'm where I look over and I see Randy like getting this guy a drink, and I try to catch Randy's attention, and I try to do the best that I can to like pantomime, like pointing at the GIF, and then tell him like, like make a lot of like drinking motions, and then I point to my coin pouch, and then I point to the ring, and then I point to myself, and then I make like muscles. I make like big muscles, and then I point back to him, and then I wobble.
Wake yourself up.
I look at him, and then I'm gonna telepathically sort of reach over. And I'm gonna say, Are you telling me to make sure this GIF is extra hydrated so you can make coin on rings?
I give him a big old thumbs up.
Thumbs up, goop, thumbs up.
Goop head, thumbs up.
Okay. You are given a mid-shelf whiskey. I'm not good at names off the top of my head. I can't think of anything clever. Something, maybe not Starlight. It is whiskey.
Air Flyball.
Asteroid water.
I was trying to think of something.
You're given some asteroid water because everything is water with me for some reason. Liquor is just water, y'all. Don't forget. And he does approach you. He does look you over for a minute, but you can tell you've intrigued him a little bit. His eyes rest on. So you're carrying both of your katanas, right? Like I think you've got like your trusty one or whatever it was labeled as, and now you have the mithril one too. So
Yep, I got the trusty katana and I have the dual weapon whatever, so I'm carrying both.
You got the 2 katanas on one side, all samurai-like.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I like to imagine it too, like stacked up together.
Yeah, they're definitely not crossing my back. They're stacked on one side.
Or like one on each hip just always seemed goofy to me, like because you just walk around clanking stuff everywhere you went, clank, 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 clank. No, I don't. Stacked swords is one of my favorite aesthetics. But he does come over. I like to imagine if any of you, I noticed someone said, looking at the board. So if some of you are looking at the job board while this is happening, you do catch Randy. He looks towards your group as he's approaching you and back to you as he gets there. And he wanders over. He looks at the whiskey and he says, "Oh, well now, is that for me?"
Absolutely, brother. I like your style as an interesting fight. I figure you were at a drink.
It's all coming together. He shoots the drink. Slides the glass back. He says, "Well, that was awful nice of you. Is there something I can help you with? Like your, you said you like his style." He says, "I like your armaments."
Same goes to you, brother. That's the primary reason I called you over here. I was real interested in taking a peek at that sword. I don't want it or nothing. I just never seen one quite like it. I think it's pretty cool. And then I hold up 2 fingers to the bartender and ask him for a couple more.
He holds up a palm. Mid-shelf, 4 silver for your current rounds.
Is this
Alright.
Boomhauer as well?
No, I just sound like Boomhauer.
Porto runs up and he's like, "You got anything sour?"
Sour. He's
Or you-
Cordo runs up separate of jerks.
He's looking for salt for some reason.
Yeah, I would say he does serve you something that we would think of sort of like a product of a cactus-like plant. Excuse me.
It's the quenchiest.
Similar to tequila, but like a soury version of tequila.
Oh.
So you are, so again, also 2 silver. Sorry, my eye itches. And as he brings your other 2 drinks, he doesn't ask you for the other 4 silver. He brings you your next 2 rounds, which the GIF immediately takes it, throws it back, and he says, well, this is probably the safest place to brandish my weapon, if there is one. And he takes it off his back, like sheath and all, and then you watch him sit down next to you and kind of turn his body towards the bar. Not hiding his sword under the bar, but he's definitely blocking, you and him are blocking a fair chunk of the sword from the room. And you watch him slide the blade maybe a good foot out of its sheath. So obviously this sheath in your or my hand would be like, we'd be holding it like this. You know, really thick, wide blade. He's got a big old hippo hand, so he's holding it in one hand. And you watch as he slides it out, and immediately it begins to emanate light. This kind of soft, silvery light. And he tells you, he says, crafted from star metal. It's cost me quite a pretty penny. It has been a phenomenal battle companion. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Daggum, brother, that might be the nicest sword I ever seen. I sort of like run a mandible down it and then thump it to hear what kind of sound it makes.
I would say with your...
What kind of edge does it hold?
Yeah, with your... Oh, well, he tells you, he says, well, these star metal weapons don't dull. Extremely easy to enchant. And, as you can see, lasts the way in dark places. It's a very useful piece of equipment, but it is for, what do they call each other? It's hard to afford if you're not established in the club, if you catch my meaning.
We gotta get some star metal, Randy.
I turn, throw my feet up on the stool beside me, and look at him. I'm like, the club, you say? How much that thing throw you back, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I got this one. He spits out some, like a location, a sector. You know, y'all may not even know the name of the planet, but he spits out and he says, back where I hail from, it was nearly 4,000 gold pieces.
Shoo-wee, that is mighty steep. But I got aspirations, I got goals, and honestly, you've inspired me. I got to get me one of them. Ain't no question about it.
Well, little friends, if you're looking to make coin, I could have some things could be worked out. He says, I noticed your companions looking at the job board over there, and I hate to disappoint them. You all would have seen this by now, but there is a sign posted up top that these are club member exclusive quests. So he explains, he says, you have to earn your way into our little club before we'll allow people to accept jobs. You understand we can't just be letting people go and willy-nilly and hunting monsters and aliens and things. Most of them don't come back.
Yep. Oh, cutie. What's a fella got to do to earn a spot in the club?
Well, gosh dang it, you brat bitch. I'm trying to do a poor Kronk impression. Stop. Some of them do come in with parts of things they've already killed. Some of them come in and he points to the ring. They start in the ring, and some of the upper-level club members may eventually test their mettle. He jostles his sword a second. He says, but most of them manage to convince a club member to chaperone them on a mission.
Well, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, and I definitely don't want to assume anything, but I got to tell you, I feel like me and you got off on the right foot, and then I hold up my hand, 2 more drinks, and I say, and I really think that we'd get along like a house burning down if you just give me a shot. So how about we chat about this for a second? We see if you can't maybe help us out a little bit. get us in this club, see if we can't become good friends.
He does verify. Says that group you walked in with are all with you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Members that work in groups always tend to do better. You know. He accepts his. So I think you're out for 8, 12 silver. So that's like 1.2 gold at this point.
Yeah.
You is that right? 1.2. He does
Plus
drink
20%,
his.
yeah.
He does drink his third drink. He kind of laughs. He says, you know, it is always good to have new members. We like to see them in large groups. Call your friends over here, and I would be happy to have some discussion.
Cool.
So
Call him Oliver.
how drunk is he looking? If at all?
He's a GIF. I would think that he's. So you can.
Not
I would
Jeff,
say
by the
he
way.
can tell. No, it's not Jeff. I hate that. Just peanut butter, man. Peanut butter. I would say you can tell he has had alcohol. I wouldn't say he seems inebriated, or at least terribly inebriated.
On a separate note, Randy does not drink very much, and as he telepathically reaches out to you guys to come over, it's like he's not slurring, but it's like you can tell he's a little more loosey-goosey than he normally is when he's like, all right, everybody, get on over here. We got talking to
The
do.
little antennas just going fucking wild. Deimos will. Well, congratulations on your trial by combat. That was rather impressive.
Well, I am the
Is
champion
that,
around these parts, you know.
I got that vibe about you. May I ask, is that particular event for members only as well?
Not necessarily. There's consider it oh man, why would you call it unmanaged?
Unmanaged. Deimos will sort of give Goob an elbow. You might have better luck with that turtle. He seems to be itching to pick a fight, and
Callie, no.
who knows? We might be able to throw him off his game. Well, not me. I'm scrawny as shit. I ain't throwing no turtle around.
While this is happening, I think I'm going to telepathically reach out to the rest of the group, be like, but I'm specifically talking to Drix. I just sort of reach out in general. I'm like, oh, Drix, brother, listen, I got an idea. We talked about
Wait
a
on me,
wrestling
Randy.
federation. We talked about a wrestling federation or something in the past. What if we, two exotic bug boys, hop in there and we rig a couple things on some bets, see if we can't make some quick cash. What you thinking?
I like the way you're thinking, Randy.
I love this. Okay, I actually really, really love this.
Porto says, I love the way you're thinking, Randy.
Since you all heard this, if you guys would like, we can do a skill challenge to see how well you guys hustle the people that are taking bets and placing bets around this ring. Obviously, Drix and Randy, you two will be the ones in the ring, so your skills would have to pertain to how you are faking it to make it look like you're not throwing matches when you have to throw matches to make coin. I'm curious about how many matches you all think you would fix. All of them, I'm assuming. So how long do y'all fight?
My vote is we just give the one to start, give people a taste of something they might not have seen much of, and then we know this place, right? So we come back, we make it sort of a repeated thing. Well, actually, we could probably go for more than one a night, but we make it sort of like a standing engagement of sorts.
Interesting.
The
The
Bugger
Bugger Boys
Boys in a cage match.
I'll see. I'm gonna give you guys a minute to contemplate what skill checks you guys may make for that. As since you guys technically haven't left Cyrilius yet, excuse me. You guys all come over, and the GIF introduces himself as you all make your way over. He says, "My name is Cyrilius the Blade. I believe I haven't had the pleasure," he says to Randy.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, brother. I'm real sorry. My name is Randy.
I wonder if you're gonna tell him Randy or Buck, and the rest of you.
I like this guy. I'm telling Randy.
Let's see.
Take out from
Can I assume the rest of you introduce yourselves?
All right.
Oh,
My
yes.
name is Drix.
Demos Delacroix Grimoire. Pleasure.
Mouthful. Anyway, this is
I'm gonna bite my tongue.
he says, your friend here has made it out like you all are looking for work, and that you wouldn't mind having our club here as a source of coin. If that's
couldn't help it
true,
over
we
here.
could. Go ahead.
I couldn't help it over here. You said something about chaperones to lead newcomers on their quest. I would be rather interested to see your capabilities in battle if you would be so inclined.
He kind of, not belly laughs, but pretty close. He says, you misunderstand. I can't help. Not exactly a accurate test of your skills if I'm mowing enemies down left and right. Now, is it?
Chaperone, I assume, meant that you would participate in the engagement, but
I will do my best to keep you from getting killed.
Trust me, we do quite well at that. And he looks over at Zephyr missing a foot, the recently healed festering wound and scars on Randy, and like...
Just gonna awkwardly clink my little nub on things.
Would you, I like to think he looks at it and he goes, you should really get that fixed. He just turns back.
It's in the woods.
I look at him, I'm like, you know a guy? Because we tried a guy. I don't know. We're not sure if we're getting a good deal.
Temple of the Silver Flame should fix you up right quick. Decent charge.
Oh, we tried them.
For more gold than your sword was, it's a hefty fee.
He has a little bit of a funny look. It's a face someone makes when they've decided if they can't say anything nice, they won't say it at all. So he makes a little bit of a face for a second. He says, well, I guess that is why you all are here. If you... He says, now, you could go back to that job board and you could look at some things, and I might be willing to give you all a hand. Give my eye to you guys as you perform this. Or you could jump off the deep end. You can see for the first time, so obviously he's very brash and confident. Gif, he looks down and like shuffles the sword for a second. And it doesn't last very long before he looks back at me and says, I have recently misplaced one of my favorite cargo ships. God damn it. He's not Southern. And I could use some assistance in attempting to replace it. It's not a mission for the faint of heart. I have been hesitant to send my crew, some of my remaining crew, out for this mission. We'll have to, I'm afraid we'll have to locate it and take it back. Not a pleasant venture, but if any of you are interested, we can arrange entrance into the club and monetary compensation.
I'm gonna give an insight check to see if he's telling the truth about it being his ship in the first place. I don't want to get hired to steal a ship and then find out we were assholes all along. Ooh.
You think the
he
ship's
seems
a
rather
lie?
Trustworthy. I think he's.
You think the ship doesn't even exist?
He's pulling our leg. This is ridiculous. Well, I tried.
I mean,
I would just ask him, is it really your ship?
Well, of course. Earned it fair and square. Not my first ship, but one I acquired soon after.
Earned?
Acquired. Well, purchased.
Through purchased, I see. Okay.
You have to understand that after some time in this establishment, coin flows freely.
And what's the financial compensation?
I could part with 3,000 gold for you all to split if you help me retrieve my ship.
500 gold apiece for the 3K pot.
That's not bad.
What about?
It's
So
chunk of change.
I'm assuming that this has been taken from you. So, what if that price plus anything that we can salvage from the ship that you didn't already own? Like they might have like whoever's taken it might have started using it, and they've got goods and stuff
Oh,
stashed.
okay. He says, I could be amenable to a solution like this, but I do feel like it is prudent to warn you that it was not taken from me by wild spacers such as ourselves. He says, I believe it's being used as
Gotcha.
I believe it's being used as a neogi nest. Neogi, Neogi.
Do you know what that is?
I guess all of you, if you want, can make a nature check.
I'd be willing to once again to just ask him what the hell's a Neogi.
I'm not going to give you all a picture because there's not one here. So far, Demos, with that, I would say, with that, between Cyrilius and Demos, you are all informed that they are spacefaring creatures that seem to live in wild space generally. So they might inhabit asteroids. They might inhabit parts of planets that are not already civilized. But they do seem to mostly live in wild space. They are, for you guys as players, you can think of them like aliens. The description he gives you and the descriptions Demos has read are kind of fucked up. Spider-like bodies, eel-like necks and heads, multiple arms and hands. They almost look like a drider and an eel like got smashed together. They're real fucked up looking. And Cyrilius goes on to tell you, he goes, say again? Cyrilius goes on to tell you guys that they are vehement. This is what they do. They're capable of magic and flying their own ships. They're just as intelligent as you or I, but absolutely vicious. They will often steal ships to raise and hatch their young, which I am trying to get to my ship before that ever happens, because that's just not fun. But it may take me a smidgen more time to locate it.
Was your ship taken?
No.
Did that happen to our ship?
If you're caught by a Neogi boarding party, it could. This is a day or two out from the rock. Of course, now that once they take the ship, they're able to move it, and that has been the hard part. I've been searching an asteroid field in the other sector. He's like waving his hand around. Y'all not very familiar with wild space. I have no real clue spatially where he's referring. But.
I'm intrigued, if nothing else, but I'd to y'all if this seems something we want to pursue or not.
Hey, if that's what it takes to get access to the job board and have the coin flowing, as you said, what's the worst that could happen?
You're all welcome to take a job off the board, and I can chaperone if you wish, but you will, of course, need a ship, most likely. I haven't looked at the board since a day or two ago.
How much do we owe on or how much would we need to get our damsel flag fixed up all the way?
We would need 5,000 more, and we would need time to let it get repaired.
Yeah,
Do we know the time?
We have 5,000 now in the party book.
Not quite. It got spent on some stuff.
As a note, though, and I could be mistaken, but I think if we went back to Sharn, then we would have a ship and housing, because I think Sly has given us those things. It would just be a trip back after that.
Wait, like, so we're not like, it's not a loan, it's like actually ours. We don't have to worry about like.
It's y'all's until you step out of the contract you're in with Sly, or you break it.
Okay.
So if we're like desperate, like hard up for a ship, and we really need one to get back over here and do the thing, then we can always go do that instead.
It's 10 gold to get us teleported back from using the
Seven.
McCain, right?
Yeah, 7
Oh, that's
because
right, we
y'all
did.
went hard.
Yeah.
I think Cyrilius, which I mean, says, I believe if we had to, we could convince a Syndeath carrier to take us at least to the vicinity of my ship. They may not be willing to get quite that close if any of the Night Striders are nearby.
And what happens if we get to your ship and it's no longer functional because of these beasts and what they've done to it? We stuck?
That's a good question. I can't imagine that they. It's been my experience they enjoy mobile nurseries. I wouldn't think they would destroy it until after they're finished with it.
Well, it sounds like a gamble, friends, but whatever you want to do.
We were
Something I
literally
gotta come-
gambling about 30 seconds ago, so
Sounds like
That's
we
making
need
a gamble.
4,000.
one more time.
Sounds like we need 4,000.
4,000 gold.
Yeah, instead of 3.
I'll tell you what.
Persuasion check?
I'll tell you what. I have to locate my ship before we can take it back. The longer they have it, the worse things seem for that ship. After I locate it, we will see how pressing I feel like time is. If I feel like it's pressing, I will pay you a price to get you to come with me.
18. I'm gonna do that. Sorry.
Sweet.
Well, when do you want us back? We need to know where to meet and when.
If you all are going to be on the rock, you can stick your head in here once every day. I will be around doing something similar to this. Oh, you know, knocking heads, flipping turtles, things like that. Everyday stuff. He says, if you're not long for the rock, you can... he points to Demos. He says, that one there can contact me, correct?
I don't have sending. That's a 3rd level spell.
I
2nd
see.
level spell?
Okay, you cannot. So he makes a little bit of a face. And he says, just let me know before you leave, I guess. And how long it will be before you're back. If I will wait here, I have to wait here until I can find willing participants, regardless.
You said we get a long rest tonight, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll look over at Drix and I'll kind of wink and I'll say, you know what? I have a really good feeling that a few of us are at least going to be back in here tomorrow. Maybe you'll have news, maybe you won't. I don't know. And then I look at the bartender and I say, I look at the bartender. I'm like, I challenge this man to a fight, but I need you to hype it up. It's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be big. I don't know if you guys ever seen Bug Boys wrestle. It's pretty unique. It's kind of wild.
The bartender actually...
What you guys might not know.
Sorry, go ahead, Drix.
What you might not know about Thrycreen Society is me and this other buggy bastard are from different tribes, different colonies. Our pheromones do not interact, and we are morally obligated to destroy each other. We look over, and I look over at Demos.
Demos takes out his little copper wire to cast a message and just sort of cups his hand, and he's just shooting random people around the wall. Did y'all hear about that bug race war? There's gonna be a mantis fight going on, and just like putting little blurbs like people are think they're hearing like things in the crowd and trying to stir up some excitement.
I think it technically doesn't work that way, but I will.
Going to be taking bets tomorrow.
I will allow it.
I will spill one of Randy's drinks onto Drix and push Randy to try to get him to like give him a little taste of the fight tomorrow. Kind of like
I like to
build up
picture it's
hostility between them.
almost like the UFC for a minute, where they're like standing in each other's face,
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
I think Cyrilius looks a little confused, considering you were both just buddy a couple of minutes ago, but doesn't say anything. As the you can hear some oohs and some mumblings run throughout the club, and a couple of guys kind of.
I'm coming for you tomorrow night at 9.
You gonna bet your life on it? You smell like a bag of socks.
You guys can already see.
Demos will lean to Cyrilius.
See coin changing hands.
Mating season just started, and now the pheromones have just kicked into overtime. You understand?
Drix, I challenge you to claw block.
I heard the one on the right's wife tried to bite the one on the left's head off.
I heard that
Y'all
one
having
ate
a
that
great
guy's
time with
leg,
this.
that purple handsome dude.
Y'all having a great time with this. I'm
the table.
all about it. If that's the point where
It's
a
like
couple
praying
of
floor for you guys.
a couple of the people who I'll say look like Cyrilius, lots of adventuring gear, what appear to be adamantine weapons kind of stand up and give you a look. You can tell this is not exactly the place to be stirring too much trouble. You're not approached or anything, but a couple of them seem to kind of stand up when a table is flipped. You get to stink eye, I should say. And at that point, I would like to think Cyrilius starts to kind of. I like to think he comes up behind both of you, hand almost as big as y'all's. Oh, y'all are pretty big, I guess not. But he does kind of like begin to guide the Buggo boys at least out into the. Sorry, that's a funny image. You guys get guided out by Cyrilius, and almost immediately both of you just like relax. Let me giggle a little. It is,
Give each other some
Yeah, we're like
elaborate
throwing
bright green
insults at
handshakes.
each other and swinging.
it is break time, so we need to take a break.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, friends, I'll see you in 10.
Rumble.
Oh yeah, is that what we're doing? So I think at this point it's probably late afternoon, around supper time. Cyrilius marches the Buggo boys outside, and I'm assuming the rest of you follow. Speaking out, hold your peace. And like upon seeing you guys, his posture changes. You get outside and away from the crowd or whatever. He gives you all a look, but particularly the Buggo boys for a second. He kind of shrugs. He says, I'm going to reach out to my ship that's scouting. See if they've heard anything and tell them to double the pace. Tell them I've got a potentially lucrative crew interested in the job. Come back tomorrow and let me know what you all think. Check on any news.
Sounds good, big guy.
What was that? He's going to turn and go back into the club. I guess that's what I'm going to call it now. The corporation. I don't know. So,
I've had,
yeah, as I say, the
I've
Rock
had 3
is
shots in game. And I'm like, you fellas want to head back to the inn? I think there's a little bit more drinking to be had.
Carter says
Unless,
I could go for some more yeast.
Yeast.
Gross.
You all
Like
are
that.
welcome to go to the Happy Beholder if you wanted to. There are innumerable things to do on the Rock. You can go back to Eberron. You can drink there. You can go back and drink at the what's it called? The Whipping Willow. You can drink on the Rock. You can go back to the ship if you're just looking. Excuse me. To go to the next
Whoa.
day. Or I don't want to say it. Never mind.
Max told us it would be
Do we-
2 days to get the foot made, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm ready for my
Today's
foot.
day 1.
Sure. Ready late tomorrow.
I would like to get our friend here a foot before we get too far off.
And-
I know we have to wait until he hears back, but I mean, this quest sounds pretty fun. I enjoyed the last like ship combat we got. So I don't know. I feel like that'll be neat.
I feel like once I have my leg, it'll be fine.
Yeah,
I can't
I'm
wait
also
till you get to
very
roll
down
another
for it.
injury and you lose the other.
This time it's an eye. Good luck.
Ooh.
I do have a thought. Like if we have the disposable income, he said we could just go back to Shard if we wanted to and hang out for the night. If we feel like we have the money to go there and come back, so 14 gold each, it would be cool to check in with Sly before we go to bed for the night. Go sleep somewhere we're familiar with and just see what he's got for us.
I mean, that's almost 94 gold plus whatever we need to stay at an inn or something. And I feel like it's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but rather, just if we're just going to go there and sleep, if we have a reason for going back, sure. But if we're just going back to hang out, then I'd rather just stay here and fast
You
You
forward.
have to pay for lodging in Sharn.
He said we don't.
Don't we pay chance?
Did we?
You haven't been. He's not
Yeah,
not
I
been
bet-
charging
No,
the last couple of. But you also know your
He's-
ship is ready and housing is being
Yeah.
prepared, so you technically can
That's-
sleep on your ship.
That's what I was gonna say.
But
Is
then we
that
would have
he
to
said that
fly
our
the
housing will
ship
be taken
back.
care of.
You don't have to fly the ship back. You can teleport back, or fly the ship back. It's up to y'all.
Oh, I thought you were saying go to get the ship to pick it up. I see.
You just don't have to pay to sleep somewhere. You have a piece of property to sleep in now.
Not that I'm
I
a fan
personally-
of splitting the party, but we don't all need to go back to see Sly
I guess not.
from a
You-
save and gold standpoint.
That's a good
I mean,
point.
I am a little hesitant about splitting the party, especially while we have steak sauce in our
Yeah.
possession. But
I mean, I'm not like sold on going back. I just thought we got the message when we were coming up that our stuff was ready. I thought if we have nothing else going on, it might be cool to go see what kind of stuff we got.
we could stay the night here tonight, get his foot, go back, get our ship, come back to the rock, see if he has his info on getting to the ship, and then we don't need to hire a crew to take us there.
So when's WWE happening and all that?
Tomorrow night.
So if the foot's gonna be ready
Tomorrow.
tomorrow evening, we do WWE tomorrow night and then teleport back home. Talk to Sly, get our ship, and then I guess sail it back.
And come back for the damsel flow.
Unless we have anything else on world we need to do, but
Sounds like we wouldn't be able to do the Nigiri mission.
Well, you know the night.
why not?
Oh, the Neogi mission. Well, if
Yeah,
you
that's it.
if you guys fly back, it might be a problem because you could be a week and a half away when he hears back, et cetera, et cetera. So you can teleport back at any time or whatever to reach him. So flying the current working ship back might be problematic.
Well,
You also know Sly
long
has a
to
mission
get from
for
A
you
to B?
guys. 2 weeks.
Well, it's 2 weeks, and he said the
weeks?
time might be of the
he,
essence.
he
for the
doesn't
ship.
know. Well, but he doesn't know where it is now. Like, it could be he can know tomorrow. He could know in 5 days. I don't know. I also see it as a benefit to have our own ship rather than asking a crew to drop us off in the hopes that we might successfully take the ship and be able to pilot it back.
I think maybe the conversation we have with him tomorrow will help determine, like, if he knows something tomorrow and he's like, yeah, time is of the essence, we need to go ahead and board something if we're going to do this mission, and I'm going to escort you. Like, if we have that kind of information, then I say we go ahead and do the mission. If it's like, no, I haven't heard anything, it might be a few days, then it makes sense maybe to go get our ship.
Meta-wise, how much would it cost to get the Sindath line to give us a lift?
I'm gonna put it at probably about 4 gold per person, and this is kind of under the reference that you guys are going you assume a day or two to the max, like 3 out, away from the rock. Cyrelius give the impression he thinks it's within that, it's that close somewhere in an asteroid field to get a ride to that general location. Going out to planets would take, a lot more gold.
I don't know, boys. I'm down to do WWE tomorrow, get the foot, touch base with Sly, and I personally would rather fly back. But if it does seem like
Fly back?
I don't know, with so many of these, what?
How are you gonna fly back?
I would personally rather fly back.
Oh, to
Yeah.
the rock.
Like
I
our ship.
see.
But that's kind
I
of the-
see. Okay.
This is open with, we don't know when this quest is coming in, and there was a quest that that the time has come up. The expedition returned on the 2nd of this month, I think.
It was the 1st of Ron. I don't think we're that far.
I think the 2nd. Okay.
Yeah, my vote is that we get the foot, we go do the wrestling match, and then hopefully while we're there, he has heard something that gives us an indication of timeline. Like, if he thinks it's going to be another 2 or 3 days, then it does not make sense to bring our own ship back. We should just wait and do the mission so we can gain access to whatever this place has to offer us. Because I feel like if you try
I
to do
concur.
2 weeks, that jeopardizes the possibility of us actually succeeding here.
Let's do it and stop spending so much time talking about what we're gonna do.
Sweet.
All
Well,
right,
y'all had
go
some stuff to
back.
hash out.
Go-
So I gather at this point you guys are wanting to take a rest. Y'all are going to go back to the ship, to Marcus's ship, or because it sounds like y'all are ready for the events of the next day. Fair enough. you guys do go back and get your long rest. I'm sorry.
Hit that long rest button and that like and subscribe. Thank you.
There was something I was thinking y'all might go do before you rested, so I was hoping it wouldn't be wasted, but that's okay.
You can
Tell
comment
us,
your
DM,
favorite
tell
part.
us.
I'm not. You guys have forgotten. Maybe not forgotten. Maybe just being nice. To not go do something I was afraid you would go do. So it's all okay.
My notes tell me I'm not missing anything, so I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'm a bad note taker.
Since we've moved on to the 8th of Larvon, I was afraid y'all were gonna go to the fucking weather vanes and try to flip the fucking rock. Y'all were real stuck on that, and I was like,
I wanted to do it, but the day was so long.
you're on
Yeah.
mute, Joey.
We started a wrestling career in the meantime. So.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're on mute, Joey.
I mean, if Zephyr has 1 foot, we need to get it fixed before we go do anything. Because having him at disadvantage on half his shit sucks ass.
For sure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you were useless before you lost the foot, but now you're even worse.
Rude. Rude.
That's not
Mascara
in character.
scar.
Yep, he just lays on the ground
wow.
in a fetal position and cries.
No,
Like
Deimos
romance.
didn't say
Okay.
that. Deimos just thought it very loudly. No, I'm
You
kidding.
guys go back to the ship and take a rest on the Crimson. Marcus does leave the next morning. Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk to them about before they leave, or tell them, or etc.? Anything you want to say to them before they leave? You are approached in the evening by Jericho, who comes and tells you guys, he says, hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that I taught your little quiet friend a trick. Poor guy wouldn't answer me when he talked to me. He kind of shrugs. He says, eventually, we were able to communicate some things, and he's a pretty good student. You should consider him teaching him some more things. He gives A1 a nod, who I guess is there. He says, next time you're around, I'll teach you something a little similar.
So you're the one that taught him how to throw his voice a little bit.
I just taught him a small illusion spell. Not anything different than I'm sure some of you can do.
Is there a reason in particular you taught him this spell?
He asked.
You did. Deimos will ask A1.
A1 tells you. A1 tells you, says, I wanted to know how to do what Echo was doing. He points to Echo, and then he points down at his hand. And he points to Jericho, seemed to understand. Our jig was up, so to speak.
I'm kind of glad that you've taken the initiative, but just for a future reference, you might want to be a little more cautious on who you speak to outside of our particular circle. No, I don't mind Jericho, but, and no offense to you, Jericho, of course, but we don't know him terribly well. Besides, your existence is still supposed to be a little more low-key. But
Look at Deimos,
since
though.
you've taken...
Sorry.
But since you've taken the interest, I've been more than happy to show you a few things myself. I've been educated for quite a long time. I believe I can teach you a few things.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like we knew this fella could pilot a Spelljammer, so he must have some magic, but we did not know he had the propensity to learn magic on his own. And I think that's pretty important.
So,
So
I will reiterate for everybody. He is as smart as any of you. Autognomes are a race like Warforged, so he is, just as intelligent and as emotionally deep as any person would be, which is why they're so uncanny. His, particular subset.
I feel like we should be being nicer to him. I feel like he's got a lot to learn from us, and if we're not careful, we'll teach him some real bad things.
I mean, I feel like we're already teaching him some pretty bad habits.
I mean, you went pirating with him. It was cool. Not with him, obviously. Anyway, after that conversation is wrapped up, if there's not anything else you guys have for the Tarkatans, they will leave as you guys unboard and head off into the city.
Clarification: Max is part of the shipyard here on the Rock, right? Not
Yes.
part of the crew.
Yes, Marcus
Okay.
just introduced you all.
Cool. Couldn't remember. Thank you.
Is there anything specific you would like to do with the day before you guys go back to Max that evening and then go wrestle? Oh, you wanted to check in with...
I believe.
Anything you want to do before you check in with Cyrilius is what I should ask.
I think I have enough gold. I do not. Nope. I thought I had enough ink to do one of the spell scrolls, but I do not. So never mind.
I kind of want to I don't know if I should do this or not. My thought is that I kind of want to practice sparring with Drix so that the performance is more convincing this evening.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, we gotta get our routine
That is a
down.
good idea. No, straight up, y'all have to get your routine down. I love that. Okay.
Stage combat.
I will
Woo!
say you guys spend the
Pratfall.
morning doing that. Most of the morning, maybe into lunchtime or whatever. A little past lunchtime. I would say I'm looking for a place. So you guys do this mostly discreetly. The city is big enough that you're not doing this in a public square or anything. You guys get a solid
back alley
couple of hours. You guys
You could
work
just do it on
out.
the ship, but
Well,
you
the
tell the
ship's
crew
leaving.
that you guys have been wrestling in the rooms for like 6 hours. I think they're going to be a little sus of several things.
That's true. The
One of them's a female, right?
There's
Well,
three.
see,
There's technically 3 of them. Freaky in there.
2 bugs and a mushroom.
2 bugs and a mushroom.
Oh, no.
2 bugs, 1 mushroom.
I'm out.
No, 2
Oh,
bugs and
God.
a mushroom. There we go.
You guys spend a solid couple of hours planning out and practicing your routine. I'm excited to see how you guys pull this off. Before, what y'all want to go? You could go check in with Max, or I guess you can go to the Xeno termination. Just anything else you would like to do before heading that way? Oh, I see. Port and rolls. I don't hear anything. So Max first, or Wrestling first?
I think Max first.
Foot.
Foot. Okay, you guys go back to Max. I would say probably close to, after spending the day sparring, maybe getting lunch, having a good meal at the Happy Beholder. You guys make your way back to Max in the early evening-ish and find him very grumbly and sweaty. A variety of substances on his hands, maybe even a little in his beard, and what seems to be, it looks like a Warforged leg. With a couple of, you can see where there are some attachments that are obviously internal and attachments that are external. Mostly made of leather, metal, some rubber pieces, rubber connectors, and things like that.
Automail.
Indeed. Warforged automail. And he kind of, you all show up, and he turns and looks, he says, God dang, I'll take half now. Half after.
I don't have a
Half
problem with that
apples.
arrangement, but I got a little bit of concern that you want to take a little bit up and a little bit down. Are you afraid that this is not going to work?
God dang, I've never done nothing like this before, man. God dang. Unheard of, man.
Surely prosthetics aren't unheard of. Maybe not something that he's done specifically, but
Be a lot
I mean-
easier if you had an exoskeleton.
you.
I mean, it'd be a lot easier if y'all left me dead.
Max looks very concerned. He's like, dang old table man, need go dang on foot.
If I
Dang
lost,
old
I'll
man,
look
don't
at
worry
it.
about it, man. Talking about a little hopscotch, stay down on that dang old.
Look at Zephyr.
well,
I'm
we'll
like,
just shoot, man.
I think they're a little less concerned whether or not they die than I am, so I guess go for it. Whatever. Just give them the money.
If he dies, he dies.
We're getting the foot today, though, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He said 200 before
Okay.
and 200 after.
Yeah, that just seems like you do the damn thing.
Yeah, no, I've already hopped up on the table.
All
We're
right.
ready.
Goob did promise to take care of the medical aspect. So I'll say it takes,
I can get moved.
it's a surprisingly multifaceted. It probably takes a better part of 2 hours, probably a little more than 2 hours, because as you guys watch him make incisions in certain part of the leg, obviously this is the part he maybe has. He either has Goob assist, as Goob he tells Goob where it needs to be cut and how deep. And
Goob, he's like, I
I'm
don't
here,
know.
boys.
It's like, he looks at Zephyr and he's like, I don't know anything about this, but I'll do my best.
Can't be worse than having just a nub.
He's kind of like
Oh,
Dr.
no.
Zoidberg. He's like, I don't really.
No.
Oh
There
no!
There's nothing
I-
you could have said to make me lose all confidence in you except for that exact statement. Okay.
That's worse than Krieger.
Keep
Alright.
forgetting about the bone.
Oh shit! I could have done Krieger. That would've been
Krieger's
better.
hilarious to me.
I feel like Krieger's
Uh,
a better. Can get it done in a mad scientist way, but we'll get it done.
So I'll say
I
it's,
feel
Current
like this is more of a
leg
Krieger
bone.
situation.
it is. They do their. You are handed liquor, Zephyr. Whether you choose to partake, I guess, is up to you. But it is an excruciatingly painful
No, I
procedure.
want to feel the pain.
It is pretty bad. Those of you that stay to watch, it is gruesome in a lot of aspects, but very precise, thanks to both of them working together. As this prosthetic is fitted to Zephyr's leg and attached in what seems to be a pretty stable way. Zephyr, assuming you don't pass out from the pain, you get up after the procedure is over and can feel immediately upon standing on it that while you cannot feel necessarily through it, it is a very close approximation. You feel very sturdy in it. There's not a lot of wiggle room, so to speak, between the prosthetic and your stump.
I made an 11 on my Constitution save, so I'd say I fucking passed out.
Perfect. Zephyr passes out from the pain about halfway through the procedure, which gives the Goob and Max some time to clean him up a little, make sure all the fittings on the outside, the straps, and I imagine there are like 2 leather bands that wrap around her shin, or the upper part of her shin that help to keep it attached. I said her, his. Excuse me.
You know, at this point, Zephyr's used to being misgendered. It's fine.
They're
He's
right.
so
It is.
pretty.
It is your voice.
Just too dang pretty.
Okay. So I guess you are roused, Zephyr, almost around sundown.
Liquidly roused.
Wait. Before we wake him up, Deimos will go to Echo and be like, "Hey, you should do some illusion work and make it look like his other foot is missing, or that we put it on the wrong foot." I just want to fuck with him just a little bit.
Already done.
Perfect.
So which one is it? Is it gonna be facing the wrong ways? Is his other foot gonna be missing?
Well, let's say that they put it
look
on.
like a crocodile foot or like a dinosaur foot, or
Okay.
some sort of creaturous.
Zephyr,
I
you
think he might
come.
like that. He's a weird one.
Yeah, Zephyr, you come to a reptilian foot. Doesn't even look like a lizard folk. It's like webbed and smaller, like a lizard's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me roll perception, see if I can see through it, and I rolled a 10, so I absolutely fucking
That
believe it,
does
and I just
not
threw up my
pass.
arms.
Huh? The robot foot they put on me looks an awful lot like
my
a.
arms and just kind of lament.
Shakespearean, like throw yourself.
I
on the floor.
imagine he passes back
Dramatic,
out.
yeah.
Oh boy. Eventually, after shenanigans, you are roused, Zephyr, to your new prosthetic, which fits snugly, and you're confident you could run and move and fight in it if you needed to. You guys give Max the other half of his payment. He looks mildly concerned, but very hopeful as you're moving around and able to move and stuff again. He tells you essentially that he'll have the repairs done on your damselfly in about another day. He's been, since you have already paid him for that, he has been working on it exclusively. Just these gold thing old, helm, man. Good old Spelljammer helm.
We're about halfway there, and seeking opportunities to make up the other half. Once we pay that, by the way, how long do you reckon it'll take you to acquire a helm?
He tells you have to get them from the Mercane.
But they will have them in stock? Like they don't have to order it or anything like that?
You get through his jumbled hillbilly that seems to be their specialty.
And then how long to install it? Is it immediate?
Yes. Once
So
you put
the
it on the ship, get it
price.
installed, which is like the
The
price
Pull
would
it in
be.
on a dolly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hmm?
Thinking like the prices for the part and for the installation.
More or less. You're essentially purchasing this magical item, and it has to be placed on the ship.
Looking at Goob like, hey, I don't know if you could talk them down at all, but price and installation, maybe we can get a little cheaper. I'm just thinking out loud.
It's weird they didn't mention that when we told them we were trying to get a ship repaired. But now if they're the people to get it from, is the 10,000 gold the price for just the helm, or is that the price plus installation? Parts and labor.
Parts and labor. You assume that like there's it will be handed to you and you'll take it and put it on the ship. You don't know exactly how that works, but
Well, I'm asking Boomhauer here. What would be the
Oh,
labor percentage
I mean-
of that? How much would you pay it?
well, no, he tells you that he does it. They don't get installed. People usually, or when they, I guess when he gets them, shipyard. He tells you usually they come reduced, meaning that the item has had a spell cast on it to make it smaller. It's brought to the ship. The magic is dispelled, and then the ship works. More or less, he says there is some magic in the ships itself that connects them, but that's not anything that he's ever had to work on, or he's ever had to see anyone connect.
But that would be part of the price up front, yeah.
Tells
Okay.
you yes.
I thought it was.
No,
I gotcha.
10,000 gold to get that
down for
thing
trying
on the
it.
ship and working.
It's definitely, if we next talk to them, Goob, it's when we go to get it, regardless, it would be worth haggling them down. After this mission, we'll have somewhere about 8,000 to 9,000, give or take. And that'll give us a fairly good idea of what our spending range is.
I've got a plan. And Devin, I will let you know what this plan is later.
Hurt.
Oh, God.
You guys do make your way back to the Zero Termination LTD, and file yourselves into, and you find that Randy and Drix are given somewhat of a berth as you guys make your way in. You can tell it is almost twice as crowded as it was the day before. You can see Cyrelia sitting at the bar, drink in hand,
Wink at him.
and just quite a few people as you guys walk in, and half the room goes quiet, and then the other half catches on pretty quick as you guys enter. And the bout that's happening when you guys enter is over quickly, and those two clear out of the way, and you can see the kind of anticipation.
Deimos will begin taking bets. But before that, I want to confer with my group.
You could also wait.
Meta-wise, because this is in chat. Do we? I think we said Randy would win tonight. That Drix is going to take the fall in the third round today. Correct?
Yeah. And then Drix is
Okay.
winning the rematch.
Are we trying to do something to make it seem like Drix is the more likely to win?
He does have two
Maybe
of
we
them.
can have you guys warming up, and Josh is like very
He's got
rusty
his
by
coach
comparison.
right there on his head. He has an advantage.
Yeah, Drix can be like stretching in the corner and stuff.
Well, to be clear, hold
Oh,
on. So before we proceed, Drix is taller. He looks like the larger bug. So I think that like general street bets would assume that he's stronger and would win the fight. So I'm gonna assume the odds are already in his favor to an extent.
We should also put Echo and Goob. You guys go with Drix, and y'all look like a badass team. And then Zephyr, take your sad ass over there by Randy and see if we can make it seem a little skewed.
Wow.
Good
You
to be
telling
the
people
code,
won't
yeah.
believe the pretty boy?
I'm gonna give let's say 2-1 odds. Drix being the favorable option.
Do we
See what
have
kind of-
steak sauce with us?
You would
I think
probably have to.
We have to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we don't have a ship. Okay, I was gonna say I could do minor illusion with like some blood or something to really sell it, but I won't be able to. Never mind.
Well, he can do his own minor illusion visually now. He just can't do the voice and the visual. So he can do the visual. You can do the blood, or spooky shit.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Let's do it.
I don't know if that would be like an advantage roll for any
No.
sort of checks on them.
No, I like that.
And that's part of the reason why I asked for the prep time to be like, we rehearsed this a bit.
No, yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is. I love this.
Ooh,
This is what I was
Does
gonna
Damos want to MC?
say.
No. Don't tell me.
Okay.
And this
I mean, I will if.
So how many matches are you doing total?
It's gonna be one match, but it's 3. Well, it depends. So these are actually technically sumo style. So there's not really rounds, right? Like it's more
They
like
would
whoever
be-
wins just
They
wins.
would
we're
be
gonna,
matches.
we're gonna make it look like Drix is gonna win, until like the last minute, and then
We-
Randy comes out.
So how
with
that
the
would
lev.
okay.
We could do
so
a-
how that would look in
We
sumo.
could do a best of 3.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, sumo is like 10 or 11, but obviously whoever gets 6, if it's 11, whoever gets 6 is the winner. They're all even numbered. So best 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, however y'all wanted to.
We got 2 out of 3.
I see. Smaller
Yeah.
team.
Makes sense.
So
Like we can
We'll
tie
have
it up, and then Randy
Drix.
snag.
yeah, let's have Drix have a clear victory in the first one. Randy gets sort of a sneaky, underhanded victory in the second, and then the third, Drix take the fall for the Randy win.
Okay.
I'm loving the Krieger
Two to
Sounds
bits,
like
one,
Plan
by the way.
2 to 1 bets. Okay, so I set a skill challenge for this earlier. Y'all done a lot of prep and thought into this. I'm going to let Echo's blood thing give Randy and Drix. You guys can have advantage on whatever check you make for your skill challenge for faking this.
Okay.
The rest of you are also
I don't
welcome
know if
to
we-
use a skill in the skill challenge to try to get your successes that you needed.
I don't know if I need to tell you which one, but I mean, it's wrestling, so I'm gonna go with acrobatics.
Fair enough. I'm
Yeah,
mad.
same. I'm doing acrobatic, sleight of hand too.
Can I do
Yes.
an Arcana check to keep spreading those rumors? Like whenever I go to take
Hold
a
and
drink, I kind of like whisper into the cup, trying to generate more like, oh, that Drix bug is the big one. That's the one that's gonna win. Try to
Do you have sending doesn't work that way? Do you have
Oh, fair man in that.
prestidigitation?
message.
Message doesn't work that way either. It's to a creature, a single creature, one creature you can see, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm just pointing to people
you're
in
just
the
hitting-
bar,
I
like and
see.
making them think that
Hit
they're
'em
hearing
randomly.
it. Like,
So
Okay,
you're like
Arcana
chain
checks.
messaging.
Yeah.
yeah, like I grab my cup like this, and when I take a swig, I use my pinky to point at a random person and whisper something into my cup, and then I do another and another, and just all over trying to generate some increased excitement.
Okay. I would love to see the Arcana check, the sleight of hand check for Drix, and the acrobatics check for Randy. That all sounds lit. Does anybody else like to contribute?
Oh no, I still get advantage though, right?
You do get advantage, and there are some other things at play here.
Cool.
Each of your things will have a different impact. You got that? Oh.
Oh, heck
okay,
yeah.
Cool. Roll one more to make sure you don't get another nat 20.
Also, your nat 20s all day, man. What are you doing?
I don't know. Like I thought about that
Yeah, I'm
the other
taking
day
the-
when listening.
Would anybody else like to make a skill check? Speak now, forever hold your peace.
Can't really think of what I'd do.
You could MC.
Can you make a depression check?
I know, right?
Yeah. Hey, no, you got the face. You got to hold up the sign. You got to be the ring person.
Is your That's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
Yeah, like he would be a great
Except for
MC.
the ring girl.
But
Round one.
Put me in a little black and white ref jacket, man.
Get the
Zephyr's
cards,
the
yeah.
eye candy. Heard.
Do the impossible
I was-
fucking
I was
like
gonna
WWE
ask-
video game arm twist.
I was gonna ask if you had a good deception because you could go spreading rumors, kind of like.
I do
Demos
have a
is.
+4 in deception, but I have been rolling piss, so.
I mean, right now. So I will start while y'all think about this for a second. Demos, you had said you were taking bets, and I imagine you advertised this when you came in. And so with your stirring
And
the
last
pot, with your message spells, and last night, yeah, that's what I meant. With your message spells, you managed to really stir up a. You said 2-1, so you get. Man, how would this? I'm gonna say you get probably 8 bets of 20 gold each. So those would pay.
Okay. For
Yes.
who?
Oh, you guys need to be the one placing
How do
bets.
we?
Interesting. I'll say they're.
That's what the party
they're-
has
Well, no,
placed.
yeah. I'll say these
We're
are
trying to get
50.
them to place the bet on. We have to place bets on Randy and have the other people place bets on Drix. So is that 8 for Drix? Because that's what I've been trying to do is hype Drix
Let's
up as the.
let's do the
superior
8 for
bet.
Drix because that since y'all are finessing.
And then everybody
this.
gets to buy out the first round. And then they'll do this. They'll bet the second.
Ooh, yeah.
Austin, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, do bets by round? Okay.
I mean, they know
Well,
it's best 2
we-
out of 3.
We decided it was 2 out of 3 earlier, so it's probably let's
Oh, that's
just
right, yeah, we did.
flat bet.
No, okay.
Like
I
that.
see what y'all mean. I will say it is. Yeah, 6 bets for Drix.
6?
No, I'm sorry. I forgot. We just mentioned 2 out of 3, and then it left my brain immediately. No,
How,
8
how about
bets for
instead of
Drix and 20 gold.
complicating it?
No, yeah, that's what I'm trying to. What is that? Y'all don't get that doubled though, right? Like y'all would have to pay that
Well,
back out.
how about we
double.
just make a set gold number that if it goes off as planned, here's what you win.
Yeah,
if it
I'm
fails,
trying to-
then you lose that.
I'm trying to
bet or whatever.
calculate that. What is 8
So-
times 4? What did I say? 20? What's 8 times 20? It's a little less than
260?
Yeah, 200.
But that's 160.
100. Yeah, 160, yeah.
But for eight
Yeah. Okay.
8 people, that doesn't seem like a whole. I mean,
Well,
I
they
maybe
would
I'm picturing
pay
this
out
place is busier
twice
than
as
it is.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys throw 20 on it, then you add another 20 per party member into the pot, and then you get double whatever the pot is, I guess, is the way it pays out. Or double per bet. That's difficult.
I think we're mixing odds.
Yeah, instead
didn't
of
come prepared for
complicating it,
this.
just give us a
Yeah,
gold value if it works.
For
or if it-
sure.
yeah.
We didn't come prepared for
make it
this. That's
quicker.
okay. I'll say running y'all's racket, which y'all, based on y'all's checks, y'all run the racket pretty well. I'll say y'all come out with an even 400 gold pieces.
It's pretty good. Especially for our first time.
I was about to say, this is not a
Hustling.
form of income I expected, but it's hilarious. That 20 was very helpful for y'all to pass that skill challenge. We may come up with more fun rules for those, but we'll see. Depends on how much y'all hustle, people. Okay, interesting. You guys have a phenomenal performance, not really a fight, I guess, and leave that night with 400 more gold pieces in y'all's respective purses. And many of the
Wait, I want
denizens.
to hear the fight details. I want to see how it goes.
I
like,
mean, did y'all choreograph that
fast
much?
forward through the juicy bits? Do y'all
Yeah,
want to describe it?
It probably choreographed a bit, right? Like, I assume that in the first fight, because Drix is a little bit stronger, right? Like, Drix comes in and he's just sort of, like, commanding the ring a little bit, pushing Randy around some. And
I'd
Randy
say the
realizes
first
that...
time the queen sweep, yeah.
Randy's just, like, completely overpowered and realizes very quickly that strength odds are not going to be the way to go about this, right? So, you can have different thoughts, Drix, but I imagine the second round, he sort of lets him feel like he's controlling it, and then at the very end, sort of like crawls underneath between his legs and like kicks off his back to knock him out of the arena, off his balance a little bit, and it's just sort of like a surprise, like nobody was expecting that to happen. But the third round is a complete slugfest. Drix is now privy to what Randy's trying to do. Randy's trying to sort of like counteract his weight and stuff, and it gets kind of crazy. And Randy actually gets him at the very end just a little bit, by sliding his foot like underneath his foot just a little bit and trying to make him do the splits, and just barely shoves his foot out the edge of the arena. That's how I imagine it going.
I can see that.
Cool. No, I like that.
Just close enough
Part
in the
of me
last round
imagines
where
that like
they're
Drix forgets
So-
that y'all are rigging it, and he's just really actually fighting for a second. You're like, hold on, bro.
For a second.
Whoa,
For
wait.
honor.
Like, he gets hyped up in round 1, comes out round
Yeah.
2, just fucking slugging.
in the third round, I imagine you got to sell it right. You got 4 arms, so you're not just locking the 2, you're locking the 4. Like the back arms are locked in
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Like those back feet, the mandibles, the claws are pushing into the arena a little bit. But that last round's got to be just close enough where people are like, that could have really gone either way, and now they're thirsty for a rematch.
I was actually about to say
That's
that
it.
many, based on y'all scores, many of the denizens of the clubs seem very pleased with the match. You know, some of them that lost money are disgruntled, but even some that lost money that are not, because they, you know, that everyone is very fooled into thinking you guys are really going at each other. I like to think and to me, what I think is cool is like it doesn't look like what the Turtle and the GIF were doing. It's Thry-Kreen hand-to-hand combat. So you guys almost go in there and do like pancration, and
Muay
really
Thai.
get after each other. Muay Thai, you know,
I
all
imagine
kinds of
there's
stuff.
like there's some grappling. Like at some point during the match, nobody can see what happens because we both try to carapace and like turn invisible, and you just see like spurts of dust popping up and like footprints.
Ooh, so I can imagine the,
Oh
the
yeah,
crowd.
I love that.
No, I think it's hilarious. You guys do run your
And then
bracket.
afterwards, to really sell it, I invite him over for drinks at the bar, and I very loudly proclaim that was an incredible fight, man. I thought you had me there a couple times. Honestly, I can't believe I got out with it, but I think you earned this. And I give him a drink, and we jovially elbow.
I'm gonna get you next time, Mantis Man. And then I
1
take
month
her
from
time.
today, mark your calendars.
As you guys are leaving that evening, I like to think a little later, you know, it's probably later into the night, not quite midnight or anything like that. You do find Cyrelius waiting for you guys as you're leaving, kind of by the door. He escorts you all out of the club. I imagine this is after some time of revelry after your fights. And you guys come out. As y'all are coming out, he says, I've received word from my scout ship. And I've actually recalling it at this time. It will be here within a day. We have located my ship. It is infested. This is not anything to take lightly. If you all wish to come, or if you all wish to accept, I will pay you the 4,000 gold, and you will be granted privileges within the club. For lack of a better term, he's implying that instead of coming in as a bronze member, you may come in as a silver member.
Ooh.
Okay.
The hidden meaning here is that he's trying to warn you guys these things are not to fuck with. He looks a little grim, like as he's propositioning you guys.
I mean,
Is
what's the
there
worst that can happen? I lose
anything-
another foot.
Is there anything we should prepare or
Uh,
bring? Is there like a special weakness, kryptonite that they have?
Yeah, Deimos did pretty good on his nature check. Would I know anything about them, about their nature that maybe makes them repellent to a particular force, or?
No, you know that they are kind of feared for that reason. Much like humanity, there's not a particular thing they're weak to, and they are extremely vicious and violent. They seem to attack everything on sight that you've ever heard of.
No apparent resistances or anything of that nature that might.
Not that you were aware of.
Dark vision.
I'm assuming
Also
they can
speaking
save
to-
dark.
Cyrilius.
So it says, no. Not that I have discovered. They are.
Are they venomous?
That's a good question. One that he would know. If you give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you.
Because if we could get like protection against, or not protection against, I think there's certain things you could do to get resistance against poison.
Why is it being this way? There are potions you could get. I would say Demos would know. Being a learned man. Where is it?
There's also like spells that give you resistance and stuff, but I don't think I know any.
Are they an up close fighter? Do they have some that wield guns?
He can tell you that they are a variety. He says that they generally. He does tell you they can climb like the tops of ships. You know, he described them earlier, kind of like a spider. He tells you that they can bite you and that they are venomous. That they have, some of them carry weapons and some of them fight with their claws. He says they also have an extremely dangerous ability that allows them to charm their prey before killing it.
I can't be charmed, so I mean, just toss me in.
That sounds like a surefire way to lose a limb.
He also tells you that they are very difficult to frighten.
Difficult to frighten. Can charm or poison their prey. May fight with weapons or with body.
And when I said variety earlier, that means there are some that are ranged, some that are melee, and I guess he would know some that can use magic.
It's like any other race. Hard to say.
The heck kind of bugs are these?
The worst kind.
If it's a nest, I'm wondering if we can get some like AoE without destroying the ship.
It's not a bad idea.
Like a net, if there's a way to, like secure them all or hurt them all.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you all are already considering ways that this can come together.
Fish in a barrel, these mofos.
I'll be happy to leave in the morning if you all are amenable to this deal.
I think
now,
we should.
Before we agree to your terms, previously, you said that you would escort us on a mission from the board. I assume if we go try to recover your ship, you will be an active participant in the recovery effort.
Of course. Now, Metatalk,
all right.
I'm not going to throw him a token down and let him do stuff. He will be fighting things, but it'll be off screen, for lack of a better term, because I don't balance encounters with these dudes in mind that y'all meet.
Yeah, give him the Marcus treatment. That's when I know he's going to be there.
He is going to be. He does vehemently agree that he will be on the field of battle with you guys.
Sounds fair enough to me.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before you retire and I guess set off with Marcus the next day? Not Marcus. It's Aurelius.
Comes to my mind.
Meta-wise, my glass-tipped arrows you said can fill with alchemy ingredients.
Yes.
I don't fully understand what that means, unless it's like, I don't know, green fire.
I think like poisons and stuff.
Poisons, alchemist fire, or it's Greek fire, but I think it's called alchemist fire in 5e. Greek fire being the real thing? Question mark.
I guess I would say.
Well, so it could be
any
number of things. Like I think it's mostly probably for
sleep. If not, I'll go.
I
poison.
think there would be sleep potions. Even
Can
if
you
they
fill
don't.
them with cures for poison and then make them syringes instead of arrows?
It's like EpiPens. I guess, yeah, I could. You would take some damage, probably 1d4 or something.
So I would say that is very much possible. Do you have an alchemy thing? Like, do you have the tools to do that, to make that kind of potion?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
Let's see.
Can we swing by an
It
apothecary?
does,
on the
but
way
it does
home?
just say ingredients. So I will say, Echo, Let me give you a price for this. You get the ingredients to make a sleep potion and put it in the arrow itself. A more potent administration, if you will. I'm going to say that.
Oh, yes, the most important component, a little rubber boxing glove you just put over the front of the arrow. So cool. Knocks them out.
I would say that's going to run you an extra. You got 2 of those? An extra
Yes.
50
Yeah, Devin,
gold total to like fill both of them.
Okay, I'll do it.
While we're here, how much is a potion of resist poison?
Yep. I'll throw some money at that.
Yeah.
Same.
Good for you guys.
I think we need to beef
Is
up
it
some
uncommon?
resistance.
Yeah, I'd like to beef up some resistance.
Particular our frontliners, because those of us in the back may not get as much poison damage, but those who are going to be up front probably will get a decent.
I don't know. You know, no
Smattering of
matter
it.
where I'm at, they're gonna find me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also do
I don't know.
have a
I'd
racial
like to be
resistance.
resistant to poison. That would be nice.
What was that, Goo?
I have a racial resistance, so I don't know if that's like,
Nice.
if that could be helpful at any point.
We're gonna
Yeah,
start
if you're
round ourselves
resistant
with
to
a
poison-
goob.
Goob just
You
has
resistant to
to
poison?
all over us.
Yeah, I get advantage against being poisoned.
Oh, but that's not the same
Oh,
as
but not
poison
resistant to poison
resistance.
damage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cover me. Give me your.
Still.
You can. So you have a bonus action where you can exude a pseudopod, right? Let me use it as a shield.
Yeah, just like put out a little. It's there's a limit to how far I can like push it out. Though.
I'll say up here on the rock, an
Crazy.
adventuring hub of the galaxy. There's 65 gold pieces per.
65.
How long? What?
I
so
mean-
what's the effect of that though? Like,
It gives you resistance to
It
poison.
gives you
damage.
resistant to poison.
So any poison
So
damage
if you would
dealt
take
to
10
you,
poison damage, you would take 5.
yeah, we'll cut it in half.
okay,
I think
Wait,
it would be
so
an
it's-
important investment.
It's not that if you take it, you cure poison. It's that you're resistant to it if you take it beforehand.
Yeah, you're resistant to the
Correct.
damage.
And then do you still suffer the effects of the poison, like the disadvantage, right? Because doesn't poison also give you disadvantage on attacks
The
or
poison
saving throws?
condition does. Not every poison damage attack gives you the poisoned condition, but
And I
the
couldn't,
way he phrased it, it sounded like they can do.
I couldn't find
they
anything
can
that gives
poison.
you that makes you immune to the poisoned condition. I don't know if it gives you disadvantage. Let me check. It is attack rolls and
That's why,
check.
that's why I was curious. For
Poison
65 gold, I'm
being
thinking like
poisoned
if I chug this
Yeah,
after the fact,
disadvantage.
like would it remove the poisoned effect?
The
I don't know.
description
no, but
does not
poison's
say,
easy to
so-
get rid of. That's a lesser restoration at worst.
I'm just more afraid of the
Uh,
disadvantage than I am the damage sucks, but like having disadvantage on rolls for that entire combat if you
Yeah.
get poison early sucks.
You can get any
Yeah,
number
Would
of
a
them.
potion of poison resistance, if we take it in advance, give them advantage on trying to pass those Constitution checks against it?
It does not. All it does what the spell says,
Okay.
which is give you resistance to poison.
How much
damage.
gold do I have to spend on something that would cure my poison?
Probably a lot. If I had to guess.
Well, do we have the lesser restoration spell?
I was about to say, like, it would be a potion that's that equivalent of a power level, which would be a fair bit more than the resistance potions.
I'll have to check.
What
to see
about a
what I have
spell
access to.
scroll?
See, yeah, a
Spell
spell scroll or
with it?
something would probably be, yeah, because it's uncommon at
It might be
least,
pretty pricey.
so it's gonna be 150 to 200 gold. Like that's a second level spell.
I
Or
mean, I
third.
have access to second level spells. but-
Yeah, you can get it for sure, but I just mean like it'd be more expensive than the resistance potions because it is a higher
Oh,
tier of
If-
thing.
if the
Protection
ship is coming
against-
tomorrow, I think that Goob could check new clerics need to pick spells at the end of every day. Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Oh,
get to
wait a
choose what
second
spells they
though.
prepare.
He also
There
has
is a
right. He
protection
also has
poison.
that domain where he can also cure a status effect when he uses it, right?
Oh,
I think
fuck, that's
isn't it just
true.
frightened or something, or is it a cleanse?
Um,
I
Let
think
me-
it's
let me
any.
check.
I think it's any status effect, but he can only choose one person per round.
But it's every round. It's so cool. That's why I like
That is
clerics. They're
pretty sick.
fucking cool.
That'll help with the charmed effect too, because that's something that's a lot harder to protect from. But that could be pretty sick.
In that case, I'll dump some money on those poison spells or poison.
You end
potion
one effect
things.
on it, causing it to be charmed or frightened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It still helps with the charm,
I'll
though.
look at my.
Still good, yeah. Do you have
Okay, so-
protection from poison?
I do have access to protection from poison. So, just so everybody's aware, it says you touch a creature. If it's poisoned, you neutralize the poison. If more than one poison afflicts the target, shit. You neutralize one poison that you know is present, or you neutralize one at random. For the duration, the target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and it has resistance to poison damage, and that's for an hour.
Is it a concentration thing?
No.
And what level is it?
It's a level 2. Like, I've only got
First,
a couple of
two.
those.
Okay.
It's kind of expensive.
Because you could front load that in the combat,
true.
but that makes it kind of difficult.
I'm gonna get rid of
You know, we've
sleep.
got the time. Deimos
Steam is
will
available.
Deimos will. I'll lend you a particular thing that'll give you an extra spell slot. This Pearl of Power, sleep with it tonight, and you'll be able to regain a spell slot of 3rd level or higher. So you can use that before combat to give somebody the resistance and all that stuff, and then use the Pearl to get the spell slot back to where you'd have just as many as you do now.
Yeah.
Third
I
level
need to
or
look at
lower.
getting one of those.
3rd level or lower, yes.
Demos
I
can tell
would
you
like
they're
that
about
back, but-
1,000 gold.
Okay.
Isn't that what?
Yeah.
I think that's what you paid for.
I don't remember. I bought so much shit. Most of the
Yeah,
stuff
I bought a lot of shit.
still.
You guys can also come back and visit the apothecary on the morn if you guys would like the week to consider your options for that. I'm glad y'all are prepared. That's great. I think that's neat. But you
Yeah.
guys do return. Oh, you guys have to get rooms tonight. You
Aren't we
guys,
sleeping on the ship?
Wait, can't we sleep on the broken down ship?
I guess it's not technically outfitted, but I guess you could. There are no hammocks, but
We could.
no one can
Oh,
stop
that's
you
right.
from.
Marcus and them left.
Yeah, no one can stop you from squatting on your own property. So you guys, that's hilarious. You guys go back to the shipyard and essentially have to sneak in. I'm not gonna make you make any rolls. Sneak into, closed shipyard. Not abandoned, but you guys make it into the.
Surely has a shop dog around somewhere. You have to
bunch of
bribe
blink
with some
dogs.
meat.
We're gonna gloss over how you get through the locked sliding door to the bay, and you guys get into your ship, and it is rusty. It is not smelly, but it's definitely cold, since most of it's metal. But deeper in the ship, where the quarters would be, is plenty warm and perhaps not accommodating. You guys all pile up in various sections of the floor of the ship, and take yourselves a rest.
Yeah.
Zephyr.
Oh no. God, what's happening to me now?
What's happening to you now, Zephyr? In the night, you find yourself floating in darkness. No stars, no fauna or light. The weight of your automail is gone, and you don't feel heat or cold. Silence engulfs you like an ocean, and you feel only intense watching. The pressure of the watching increases suddenly, nearly uncomfortably, as you feel intent settle upon you. Two massive, serpentine eyes slit open in the void. You feel unyielding scrutiny. The darkness folds in upon you rapidly, crushing itself around you as you startle awake. And as you do, maybe or maybe not, in the middle of the night, waking some of your companions. I didn't expect you guys to all be kind of huddled in a ship. You sit up, drenched in sweat, and feeling like your whole prosthetic is just filled with the worst pins and needles you've ever felt in your life. You sit up to see your comrades gathered around you, back in your ship, in the Damselfly. The motley Merc, and you don't see anything amiss.
All right, there, friend.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, pinch me, make sure I'm, awake.
I pinched the metal foot.
Demos, it is
Jesus, I can't feel nothing.
no. Well, Zephyr, you feel him pinch you. Demos, the foot is frigid. It is almost ice cold. You reach out and clank, and it hurts your hand almost, and Zephyr, as you feel this and move the blanket, you can see that your prosthetic has changed drastically. No longer a kind of grayish warforged foot. It now looks like a calf and foot made of this shiny black steel. You can see where the sections that were maybe kind of rusted or made from spare parts are now new and solid. There is a metal plate that runs up the length of your shin and over your kneecap. Not fused to your kneecap, but almost like a very short spike that sticks up over your knee. If your knee were straight, it would be covered. Your kneecap would be covered. And it is beautiful, and it is a pitch, shining black, almost like steel and obsidian mixed together.
Did you stop by Hot Topic yesterday and get yourself a replacement? That's pretty sick, no lie, but
I promise that's not me doing this one.
I mean, I just figured it was came with the hardware.
did you so you have no idea, no inkling of what might have happened to you?
I mean, did one of the buggy boys, like, they don't sleep, did anybody see anything?
I'm sitting in a corner. I sort of like kick a chair out for Zephyr to sit down in. I'm like, I didn't see a single dang thing, but I got to tell you, that looks pretty sharp.
I thought you didn't have to sleep either, Zephyr.
Well, I mean, I thought I didn't either, but apparently I was snoozing, and I don't like what I saw.
You were in your trance.
I think elves
state,
I think all the
whatever it
race
is,
needs a trance. Yeah.
You sleep
What
for
did you
4
say?
hours, or you trance for 4 hours, or whatever.
Yeah.
I imagine that Zephyr sleeps for the full 8 hours because, emo depressed kid probably needs extra Z's.
No, but
mean,
see,
would we
depression
know-
gives you insomnia. You can't fucking sleep, so I'm just stuck perpetually suffering.
I mean, would we know like warlock lore with patrons and stuff?
I was gonna ask, like,
I don't think so, really. Maybe as you guys as level 3 adventurers, I don't think so. Level 4 adventurers, I don't really think so.
surely going to Moorgrave, I'm familiar with the concept of warlocks. That there are people who don't have to study for magic. Yeah.
Yes, I would say so, especially the concept of patrons. You know that powerful entities have gifted people magic.
I will, Zephyr. You know, we've been riding around an awful lot lately, and I feel like we haven't got a chance to talk. You, where'd you study?
You know, maybe I studied. I'm self-taught.
Self-taught. And that take you a long time, or you feel like you picked it up pretty quick?
Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of a long time. I'm already several hundred years old. I mean, I am, you know, that's just how I am. So time is relative and all that, especially in space.
Have a tutor of sorts? Something that helped you pick this up?
I think you're getting a little bit nosy there, friendo. Maybe it's my
Your foot
personal
just
life.
magically changed. I'm getting a little curious, I'll admit.
I mean, I've got my own curiosities, but, you know.
You seem the type to be a little curious, if you don't mind me saying.
Oh my god. You wish. You wish.
It's your effeminate grace, I think. I
We
mean, I
would've
don't want to be
noticed.
intrusive.
We would have noticed Deimos
Yeah.
recoil after he grabbed the foot, right?
Oh, I
Like,
would have
from the
mentioned
cold,
it. Yeah, like
with the
that's
sort of
cold as
pain.
shit.
Yeah, well, and I imagine too that when Zephyr feels the pinch, that he probably moves the blanket,
All right.
as
while
that
this
wasn't a thing the
conversation's
day
happening,
before.
I'm gonna walk down and look at it, and I'm gonna be like, "Looked like it hurt you." And be like, "You want us now?" Pop, pop. I'm gonna try to punch it a couple of times to see what happens. Trying to figure out if Zephyr's a strong boy now. If he got a cool, crazy frozen leg.
I feel like it's got like the reflex. What did they do with the fucking doctor test where they hit it with the?
That's
knee.
funny you say
Yeah.
that. I don't know. It don't matter who, Randy, odd or even.
Odd.
Okay. I forgot I'm the one that rolls those. Should have made you roll it. You said odd. Oh, okay.
Oh
You
no.
Your first punch nails his shin, and it hurts. It is obviously a very strong metal. Your second one catches her kind of in the upper knee, which causes her leg to kick and his. God damn it! Y'all have done this to me. I was doing great for the first 8 sessions. His leg recoil, reflex, and Zephyr, you reflexively, automatically, without meaning to, shoot off an Eldritch Blast that lances out of the automail leg. It flies right by your face, Randy, and burns a hole behind your head up into one of the upper parts of the ship, the ceiling of the ship.
Randy has never cussed before now, but he turns around and he's like, "What the hell was that?"
Well, that's a pretty handy feature.
Zephyr, you can now cast your
What do you
Eldritch
feed
Blast.
in
Cast your Eldritch Blast out of your prosthetic, out of your automail. You can also use the knee spike to do 1d6 bludgeoning damage as a melee attack, and it removes your disadvantage for Eldritch Blast if someone is within 5 feet of you, because you can now kick them with an Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
that's so
a
You need to
little
get
bit
that-
apprehensive of how that I can do it, but I'll accept it.
Barb, you need to get that invocation that lets you push people back like 10 feet when you hit them with an Eldritch Blast and just start Spartan kicking people.
Absolutely.
Like that would do wonders for Zephyr's mental health.
This is like the coolest outcome of losing a foot I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm a little bit mixed feelings about it. I don't like waking up in cold sweats and seeing serpent eyes and shit. I need to sleep stuff
Serpent
in.
eyes, you say.
It is
I
spooky.
mean, I was watching you sleep for a little while, but you're just so damn pretty. I'm sorry. The serpent eyes, you say.
Kick. Now when Zephyr kicks
I said
people in the
nothing.
shins, it'll really hurt. And we are unfortunately going to stop there because it is midnight. And I feel like that's a good place to